Oh, I did it again. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes of all teenagers, welcome. Welcome to tonight's stream. And for those of you watching the VOD, welcome. Some of you have been asking for this for a while. I know a couple names off the top of my head. Well, one name in particular, Stay Cool Keto, if you're watching. Hi. Hi, you've been asking for this for a little bit. But I've seen this comment several times. People have been asking... They've been asking, Christian, how do you go ahead and design the different buildings that you do? What's the process? You know, what determines like the palette you're working with, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to go over that today because it's a very late stream and I don't want to start on some of the other municipal buildings. So instead, I'm going to just show you the basic process. And while we do that, I'm going to build a house along with you so that you've got a little bit of a tutorial on how all the house stuff works. So today, we're still in Jamaica Plains. We've been doing a lot of building in Jamaica Plains as of late. After having completed the castle build, which was super fun, very happy with the castle, we moved over here to Jamaica Plains because, well, I wanted a different challenge. I wanted a different challenge, and I was not really going for, I didn't want to build Croup Manor yet because that is going to become this really cool player home. I'm still working out some of the details in my head. I don't know if I'm going to build that on camera or off, but probably on camera because of how cool a lot of it's going to be. But that's neither here nor there. Today we're talking about the process. So if we go into FreeCam here with the command TFC, the first thing that is important is I'm doing all of these things on the PC. I'm a PC gamer, generally PC master race when it comes to, you know, gaming platforms. It's not that, you know, console players are bad or anything. It's that you get the most creative freedom with the things you want to do on PC. Now, with a game like Fallout 4 and Bethesda's Creation Club or the Bethesda official modding scene, you can there's a certain level of modding that is available to console players. That's wonderful. I think console players should get to enjoy modding just as much as PC players. However, the format itself of being a PC gamer means that modding is instantly more available to you than pretty much anyone else because it's your system. You have almost complete control over it. And you don't have to worry about hardware limitations or, oh, I have to make sure it's compatible with X, Y, or Z. You know, to a degree, obviously, certain mods aren't going to be compatible with each other. But on a large scope, PC gaming and modding kind of go hand in hand. I mean, one could argue they always have. The original Doom was modded to hell into all these different games, and it's produced a lot of fun franchises. All Minecraft modding, you know, one of the biggest modding scenes on the planet. That's all because of the Java version of Minecraft, which is exclusively available on PCs. You know, just a whole bunch of stuff. But the first most important piece of information, I'm doing all of this on the PC. So for those of you playing on consoles, hopefully you're playing on Xbox because Xbox has more modding capabilities than PlayStation. I apologize to any PlayStation players. I have no hatred for you. You guys have some great games, especially right now. PlayStation has a lot more games available to them than Xbox necessarily. So you know, I feel for you. I really do. But Sony is not a very big fan of making mods available to PlayStation players, especially for this game. Not really their big thing. Not their big thing. For those of you playing on the Xbox, however, a lot of the mods I will be talking about today are mods available to you because many of them, the important ones, the core mods that I use, are all available in one form or another on the Xbox. Very important stuff. All of the core mods we'll be using have certain Xbox compatibility if you'd like to do something similar. Not everything, but the core ones specifically. So if you do go ahead to my VODs channel on YouTube, CN Games, you will find an entire list of all of the settlement mods that I'm using. And as of the previous VOD to this, VOD number 36, I believe, that will include that will include the most recent mod that we added just for yesterday, which was a bookshelf mod that we used inside of the schoolhouse that we built here. It's 50-something mods. The core ones that we'd be talking about today are the ones that are available both on PC and on Xbox. However, if you are watching and you are a PC player, all of these mods are available to you. All of them are from Nexus. So go right ahead. Also, use a mod manager. Don't just physically install them yourselves. Use a mod manager. Download them as manual downloads and then install them using the mod manager. I happen to use Mod Organizer too. There's a variety of good ones out there. Vortex, Nexus has, I think Nexus is Vortex. There's several. But that's a side bit. What we're talking about today is how do I come and decide to build these things? Well, the first piece of information that's important is you need to know what the theme of your specific settlement is going to be. When I made the castle and I built out the castle and produced that video, the settlement tour video for the castle, I knew what the castle needed to be. The castle is a military installation. What kind of military installation? It is a military installation for the Minutemen because I went with a Minutemen success. It happened to be an ending for the game where 3 of the 4 factions survive, because one of the mods I have allows me to become the Elder of the Brotherhood after becoming the General of the Minutemen. And as the Elder of the Brotherhood, and having done some missions for the railroad, I can say the railroad's not a threat. Can I speak tonight? I don't know. I can go and say the railroad isn't a threat. Don't worry about them. Our big threat is the Institute. Once the Institute's taken care of, they're fine. And they'll just say, okay, sure, why not? And that mod, very, very importantly, that mod is built off of unused content for the game. So So what that means is these core ideas were available in beta testing and early development stages of Fallout 4, and were simply cut from the original game. But it means they were part of the original vision for Fallout 4, or at least one of the early visions for Fallout 4. And so to me, as someone who enjoys story consistency and adhering to the important lore aspects of stories, that's the right level of creative difference for me. It might be different for you. You might enjoy a wasteland where it's gotten very green, there's lots of pine trees, it's very lush because it's been 200 years. Why is it still an irradiated waste after 200 years? Maybe it should grow, maybe it should be green, maybe it shouldn't be brown and boring and stuff. Okay, cool. That's for you. Maybe those are the mods you use. Maybe you use mods that modernize the military look and decide, well, I don't want my guys to have more of a 50s look to all of their gear. Maybe I want their gear to have a more modern take, Maybe I like the milsim stuff. Whatever your lore it happens to be, your settlements should adhere to your lore. For me, I'm perfectly fine with the base idea of, okay, set in the Fallout universe, which means a 50s-ish aesthetic, atom punk. It's what the 50s imagine the future to be. So generally a 50s-ish aesthetic with a mixture of, atomic this or sci-fi that. Laser muskets are a thing, laser rifles, the whole 9 yards. It's like, okay, the aesthetics, I'll hold on to the aesthetics. That's not a problem. The lore, I will do my best to adhere to the lore. Some pieces of lore that I might not like, okay, I'll change them, but at least I will give a solid reason for changing them. I'm not just going to say, well, I don't like this, and that's the way it is. If that's you, that's fine. That's your game. It's not my game. It's your game. You can do whatever you want in your game. But for myself, I appreciate the amount of time it takes to create a cohesive story, and I want to do my best to remain within that story and see one of the logical ways it could proceed, given the choices my character has made. This is a very long way around. It's now been 11 minutes of me yapping about this, to saying, first and foremost, make sure your settlements adhere to the lore you have built for your game. If you adhere super close to the Fallout lore, great. If you completely completely push it aside and say, I want it to be more of, a Tarkov or a Stalker or something of the sort where it's a more gringy, gritty, modern take, that's good. That's you. That's your thing. But adhere to the important pieces of your lore. Another part of that comes down to, okay, how many years are we saying, or how much time are we saying has passed? Because that's going to determine what the kinds of things that I build. If it's only been a year or two since the end of, since the story of Fallout 4 takes place, okay, the buildings are going to be a little bit different. All right, I need Hancock not to be talking right now. But for me, I decided how many years has passed since the release of Fallout 4? It's been about 9. We're running up to about 9 years since Fallout 4 has been released. Okay, how about we set this 9 years after the events of Fallout 4? Similar to how the show did, except I'm not a fan of what the show did with the lore. That's a different story. That's a completely different story. Has nothing to do. The only connecting tissue is that they both take place 9 years after the story of Fallout 4. So, if this is 9 years after the story of Fallout 4, what are the important things that have changed? First and foremost, there is such thing as the new Commonwealth Provisional Government, as opposed to the Commonwealth Provisional Government. Because now that the Institute's gone, the Commonwealth has a chance at rebuilding, has a chance at coming together and creating a new unified Commonwealth. Okay, that's important to me. Who's in charge? Well, the Minutemen are. However, they have made treaties with and have absorbed absorbed the other two groups. The Minutemen have absorbed the Brotherhood to some capacity and have absorbed the Railroad into essentially a military police role. Okay, what does that look like? Well, some of these pieces of lore, that's for later, but you have to create this lore for how you want things to be. How many years has it been? What does that mean? And with that number, with the amount of time that has passed, what has changed about buildings? If this was 1 year or 2 years, maybe even 3 years, probably most of my buildings would be, ramshackle. They'd be function over form. But it's been 9 years. The new Commonwealth Provisional Government has been established. It has been working not necessarily smoothly, but has been functioning for most of those 9 years. And there is an optimistic sense of hope for the future of the Commonwealth. Right now, the biggest threat now is raider gangs. That's nothing. The biggest threat is the gunners and raider gangs. Come on. That's your biggest threat, gunner and raider gangs, when you now have treaties with the Brotherhood of Steel and the Railroad and the Minutemen at the lead. That's okay. Your threats are few and far between, and they're going to be removed very quickly once they realize they have two options: join or be persecuted. Not because of who they are, but because of the actions they choose to take. These are important things in your lore. You should think of these things. If you need to create some kind of map for how you want your lore to go, that's fine. But create your lore, be consistent with your lore. For me, it's been 9 years since the events of Fallout 4. Okay, I want my buildings to be reconstructions of buildings that are already there, for the most part. Okay? So, for instance, the only brand new building that I'm going to say is a brand new building for Jamaica Plains would be the Minutemen garrison that we have over here. This is the only building that I'm going to say the Minutemen completely constructed this building as a new building. Why? Well, this is the town of Jamaica Plains. Every town needs a school. I'm going to say this was the school and it was refurbished. Every town has some kind of newspaper, whether it's a local newspaper or a branch of a national newspaper, or for I don't really know the newspaper system for any European viewers I might have. I apologize. I don't necessarily know what your system is like, but here in America, most towns have a local newspaper and then also print whatever the national newspapers happen to be. The big ones, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, New York Times, all that kind of stuff. Those are national, and then you'll have local ones like I know we've got the San Jose Mercury in San Jose, close to where I grew up. You've got the Chicago, is it Chicago Times or Chicago Tribune? Point is, there's regional papers, and then there's like super local papers. Like, I think it was the Gilroy Gazette? I don't know. That was close to where I grew up as well. The point is, everyone's got something, and, well, Piper runs a newspaper, Public Occurrences. And Public Occurrences is the only newspaper that has been keeping track of the progress of the story in Fallout 4. Lots of readers across the Commonwealth, even if it's mostly Diamond City, across the Commonwealth, people are extremely invested in finding out what is the Sole Survivor doing, what's happening with the Institute, what's going on with the Minutemen, how's all this stuff going down. And so 9 years later, Public Occurrences is the newspaper of the Commonwealth. Everybody reads it to some capacity. It's super accessible, which means it's a pretty large institution. I'm going to say Public Occurrences went ahead and took this, whatever this local newspaper happened to be, and just refurbished it, turned it into a Public Occurrences printing house. That's what this white building here is for. And as we continue, we'll get on. We'll see some more buildings that change and some more that are adopted and adapted. Most of the buildings here in Jamaica Plains are going to be buildings that were rebuilt or refurbished or whatever it happens to be. I'm going to say this church is what the church looked like instead of the broken down wooden one that we have because, well, I can't really refurbish that one. That's all one singular object. So I had to delete that object and rebuild with more sturdy materials. The first thing we built here in Jamaica Plains, the town hall, or I guess eventually probably the city hall, but the town hall. We rebuilt this. This structure is here. It is mostly broken down in the base game, and the basement is access to, for spoilers, is where you access the Treasure of Jamaica Plains area. Okay, I would like the town hall to be rebuilt, because if the Minutemen are in charge and our goal is to rebuild the Commonwealth and to resettle the region, we need town leadership to go ahead and, ensure stability across these settlements, which means the town hall needs to be rebuilt, which means the offices of the town hall need to be filled. You need the mayor. You need everyone working in town hall, probably some secretarial positions, and there needs to be an incentive to want to become mayor. So the mayoral apartment on the top floor, all this kind of stuff. All these little things are things that I think about when I'm building my stories when I'm building my settlements to complete my story, because I enjoy when everything fits together. Perhaps you don't necessarily need that. That's up to you. That's not better or worse necessarily than anything I'm choosing to build here. It's your version of Fallout 4. It's your settlements, so it's what you're interested in. Another building that is repurposed here in the base Fallout 4 game. This building right here, which I have rebuilt into the Adam Cat's Pit Stop, is kind of the only location that you get in Jamaica Plains. Now, one of the mods that I have, which is listed in the settlement mods section, one of these settlement mods expands Jamaica Plains to be this entire walled section that I've gone ahead and closed in. And you can build in any of that section. And so I decided, well, what are we going to refurbish this into? What makes the most sense is, because we're on good terms with the Adam Cats, why don't we turn this into an Adam Cat's Pit Stop? The number one power armor maintenance team in the entire Commonwealth. We're going to make sure they have that they get as much business from us as they need, because we're on good terms with them. I am certain they would be more than happy to come and work, be a part of the new Commonwealth Provisional Government. Get essentially government contracts to go ahead and provide maintenance for all of the power armor suits, whether Minutemen power armor or Brotherhood power armor or whatever. Construction armor, because that's a thing that I'll get into at a different point in time. Whenever I eventually build a building that I want to look like it's in construction, all this kind of stuff. I do my best to come up with logical answers to a lot of the questions that I have. So this is an Adam Cat's Pit Stop. What was originally just essentially a garage workshop space that was the only thing available to the player in Jamaica Plains as a settlement, is now a wonderful location run by our favorite 50s fanatics in the Commonwealth. Next door, I took what was a ramshackle wooden house and decided, how about this becomes a general store? This is also something we streamed. Pretty much all these buildings we're talking about are things that were streamed. And I thought that it just looked better as a general store because, well, we need one so that this town can have some income, and fashionably it looks nice, to me at least. It looks like it fits as a general store. Bottom floor, you've got a lot of the mechanical needs that you have. Top floor, mostly home goods. What's important is making it look, giving it the appearance of the general store while functioning still as the trade shop or as a trader vendor, all this kind of stuff. The fourth rail bar and grill. For those of you watching, whether you're watching live or on the VOD, a consistent viewer of mine who I'm very happy to have whenever he's watching, hi out there, NCR Ranger Bravo, which is his handle over here on Kick. He went ahead and gave me a suggestion for the name for the bar, as well as the names of the two people that would run it. We've got the bar portion at the bottom floor, and then the grill portion at the top floor. The top floor is a restaurant. Bottom floor, regular bar stuff, all this kind of stuff. Went ahead and gave me the name for the bar. Went ahead and gave me the name for the NPCs. Wonderful stuff. But it all fits within my idea of the lore. You take what's already there and you modify it. You make it work for. You make it cohesive with with the stories you're trying to tell. And the story I'm trying to tell is one of the Commonwealth rebuilding. One mostly hopeful. Unlike the show, but that's a different that's neither here nor there. Tonight, now that it's 24 minutes in, I should probably go ahead and decide what we're going to build. We are going to take a small plot of land and we are going to build a little house so I can show you my process. As I said at the beginning of this long speech section, all of the mods that you're going to need for today's tutorial, every one of those mods will be available on Xbox and PC. Very simple stuff. The majority of what we will be using today will be the Snappy Build Kit and Homemaker. There will be a couple things in there. Obviously, some of our decoration objects are going to be used with OC Decorator, but all three of these mods are available both on PC through the Nexus and on Xbox through the Bethesda mods page. I imagine you could probably also get that on PC through the Bethesda mod page. However, I like to download and make sure that I have total control over my own mod sets so that we're all good. The house that we're going to build today, as you can see, a lot of lag because I've built a lot in this little section over here. The house that I'm going to build today is going to be a house adjacent to the diner because, well, whoever runs the diner needs to live somewhere. They need some kind of house, they need some kind of home. I guess before that, we're going to go ahead and help out one of our 2 checkpoints. Jamaica Plains is interestingly set in between 2 different checkpoint locations, which means we get a lot of Minutemen protection. Lots and lots of Minutemen protection. All right, let's just get rid of that. Nice. Nice. Okay. Let's go ahead and loot all of their stuff. The synths, I just take everything the synths have on them. It's just so I can either sell their stuff or break it down for scrap, or in the case of these settlements that I'm working here, probably retrofit some of my settlers with a lot of their gear. Someone use it in some useful capacity. But yeah, we're all good over here. We got our heavily armored Minutemen. You gotta love it. The Minutemen Armored Rangers. That's a different mod. That's not a settlement mod, but I use the We Are the Minutemen mod for all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, getting back to the original premise for today, we're going to turn this pile of rubble over here into a house adjacent to the diner, a house for the people who run the diner. Also, I'm looking for I'm looking for viewer support to give me ideas for the names of the people who run this diner, as well as give me a name for this diner. I've been sapped of creativity for this. I have no idea what I should call this diner, or the NPC or NPCs. We could have 2 NPCs who run this place. Whatever. 1 or 2 NPCs and a name for the diner. Make sure you leave your comments in the VOD. Leave the comments on this VOD over on CN Games on YouTube. And watch the other VODs if you're interested in watching the build process for anything else that we've done here. Well, almost anything. The only thing that you won't find the build process for is for 3 apartment buildings that I built, only because it was boring and repetitive and wouldn't have been very, very good content. Sorry, very happy about that sneeze button. So, we're gonna work on this today. We're gonna load into the settlement build menu. Now, I have an obscene number of settlement mods. Not all of them are gonna be used today, but I have an obscene number of settlement mods. So, depending on how large or how detailed your settlement happens to be, like with my castle build, this could take up to like 5 minutes to load you into the settlement menu. It's probably gonna take me, maybe a minute at most to get into this settlement menu, but be warned, the more settlement mods you use, the more detail your settlement has, the longer it's going to take for you to load into your settlement menu if you're not already used to this whole process. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do our best to clean this section up. Oof. And how we're going to do that is we are going to go ahead and build up a section of landscaping. What do I mean when I say that? Well, we're going to go all the way over to the Snappy builds, one of our favorite mods, a core mod to what we're doing today. We're going to go over to Snappy builds, go all the way over to the right, all the way at the end over here, we will find landscaping. We're going to enter into landscaping, sidewalk and park, and we're going to go to the grass section. Also, we're going to change the weather. Force weather 000 252 or 2B52A, and make sure it stays clear skies. Also, you can change the time using the set game hour command, and the time is based off of a 24-hour clock. So if you want to set it for 10 a.m., set it to 10. If you want to set it for 10 p.m., set it to 22. You know how the 24-hour clock works. You guys are very intelligent. All right, so there's our very first piece of grass that we're placing down. The very first piece. What I would like to do is to ensure that this is located properly on the XY axis. So what I'm going to do, open my console. Most of what I do when I place an object, most of the time it's going to be console related. In terms of the in-game console, which is why I suggest you do these things on the PC. I'm sure there are solutions to this through the Xbox, but I am not an expert on how you mod for the Xbox or how you would find a companion to this for the Xbox. But you're in the console on the PC with your cursor. You're going to click on the object that you want to move. In this case, we want to move this landscape piece, which is FF08 or FF048D55 as an object. That code means this is how the game recognizes this object. This is the name for this object in the game, even though we might see it as SW block park grass. What I want to do is I want to move this. I want to modify position through mod pause, and then the axis I want to choose. Now I already know which axis is which. I want to modify the x-axis by negative, so moving left. Think of a grid on a grid in math, a coordinate plane in math. I want to move it on the x-axis by 100 units. That's not a massive movement, but what's important is that it's enough to get us over here. What was that, 5 times? Okay, so we move it 500 units, we bring it over here, and what I want to do is I would like to do my best to get it lined up so that it fits, that it properly fits the square shape here. So I now need to change the angle a little bit. So mod angle instead of mod pause, and I want to modify the z-axis so that it rotates around instead of shifting left or right or forward or back. It will rotate on the z-axis. I want to modify this by -1 units. That way it rotates to the left by just 1 unit instead, or 1 degree rather. If you're modifying the rotation, you're rotating something based off of a 360 degree rotation. I want to rotate it by just 1 degree just to see where and how that gets us places. Right now that looks okay. I probably want to move it a little bit more, but I don't know if I want to change the angle or if I want to... It looks like I probably don't want to change the angle. As you'll see, I'm trying to make this object parallel to the piece of sidewalk we have here. So how about we move it by 1 back, and then instead we'll move it by -0.1. You can get extremely granular with how you choose to modify the position and the angles. I have been able to move it by as small as 1/1000th of a unit and as large as several thousand units. In the case of rotating it, in the case of rotating an object, you can rotate it all the way down to 1/1000th of a degree, all the way up to 360 degrees before it just comes back to the normal position, or its original position. So, you know, it's interesting. It all comes down to what your purpose with the object happens to be. But we want this to be as square to the sidewalk as possible. Why would we possibly want that? Well, when we build this structure, we want everything to be as perfectly accurate to the XY axis as possible, because it makes moving other settlement objects significantly easier. So we're going to move this back into place. Mod pause X 500, because we originally moved it -500 to get -500 units to get it to where it is now. We want to move it back to 500 units, and that is pretty darn close to exactly what we need here. In fact, I'm actually going to move it up some. -10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, I think. No, we'll go 75 instead of, yeah. Okay, and then I want to move it up some. Mod pause Z, so if your X and Y axis is left and right, forward and backwards, then your Z axis is up and down. If you're familiar with Minecraft coordinates, if you're familiar with playing Minecraft, the coordinate plane in Minecraft is very similar. Your X and Y is your north, south, east, west, and your Z is your height. This is how it works in math. This is how it works in Minecraft. It's how it works here in most Bethesda games, especially Bethesda games that allow you to mod things on PC. So we want to raise the height of this object, and we're going to start with a simple 10. I like to move in 10s because it is mathematically simpler. 20, 30, 40. 40 seems about right. We are going to change it around some. We're going to be adding some foundation pieces and some floor pieces, so the exact height will change eventually, but what I would like to do is get it at least higher than most of the grass that we're going to run into, and high enough so that it doesn't collide with any of the hillside, so that the flat top is still above whatever this rubble pile is. Because even with mods like even with some of our mods like Scrap Everything, some objects are just built into the landscape itself and aren't placed there. They just are the land, and I can't really delete those. Sucks, but that's the way it is. I have to build around it. But now that we have one placed, we can come in here, more or less, and snap to it. Let's find the proper angle of snapping. Looks like it doesn't want to snap yet, so first thing is first. Now that we know where we want this, I'm going to increase its height by 300 units. Therefore, it is all the way out of anything that could possibly be colliding here. 300 units is a very safe number to assume, okay, you're going to be out of pretty much all of whatever problems you could be running into here. So now at 300 units, I believe I would, from the top here, I believe instead of 3 blocks wide, I would like to go 2.5 blocks. So we're going to come in here to the Snappybuild Landscaping Sidewalk Park section and grass. We're going to use this half block wide piece, and it snaps right on. Wonderful. Now we're going to do the same all the way down. And we're not going to worry about it colliding with anything here, because when we move everything back down by 300 units, it won't be a problem. Everything will be out of the way, which is very, very important. Now, it looks like you are still being a little tough. Okay. Snapped there. Will you snap here, though? Yes, you will. I just need to get the placement angle to be correct, and then everything will snap together. Wonderful. This is the building space we want. So now, while I'm in the sky, I'm going to press on the console and then select each of these objects. And go Mod Pause Z minus 300. And then to ensure that you don't have that shaky texture all the time, I'm also going to go a second step and 0 for each of them. That way it freezes the object in place. 300, 0, 300, 0. We're going to do this for all of these. Okay, wonderful. Now that they are all at the height that we're looking for, we can go ahead and move them around a little bit on the playing field. I'm pretty happy with where they happen to be. They don't need to be, anywhere too crazy. With the extra height that we're going to be adding and everything else that we're going to be building here, it doesn't need to be wild, This is perfectly fine. I also am going to go ahead and add in a retaining wall so that it doesn't just look like a floating block of dirt here. If you are fine with that, that is completely up to you. I happen to prefer everything looking like it flows together. So, to cover up the areas that it doesn't, like anything over on the, I believe that's the, what would that be? Would that be the southern side, I believe? Yeah, anything way over there, where past, right next to the Hyde Park section, I had to build up a series of walls, and I had to build up the terrain around it. I like to make it all seem, like it belongs there. We're going to do that here. So, staying in Snappybuild Landscaping Sidewalk and Park, we're going to go over here to retaining walls. We're going to enter that. We're going to go into the walls section and use this nice wall piece. In here, there are 2 wall piece options. There's the RW piece wall, and then there's the RW piece wall using different stone materials. I like to use the standard one over here because I believe this is more feasible for a rebuilding Commonwealth 9 years into the project. Maybe 19 years into the project, I could see them, using some more interesting artistic patterns for everything. But right now, my version of the Commonwealth is focused on function and stability. They want places that will last a long time and are easy to build. And so we're going to use more simple masonry. These, as the mod is named, these snap into place very simply and can be used in conjunction with each other. Now, when you have a problem like this where it's like, oh, okay, this is only a half block wide, but the wall piece is a full block wide. It might look like this. Okay, to get around this, what we're going to do, open the console, click on this piece, Mod Pause Z 300. It's all the way out of the area, and then I'm going to snap another one right there, and then move this one back down, negative 300 and 0. That way, it covers that whole space, and it looks like it belongs there. Perhaps you might get a little bit of texture glitching, and if that bothers you, you can always go in and modify the position by little tiny bits. I tend to move it by three thousandths in one direction or the other, depending on which part I want to be showing more. And it's such a small amount that walking by it or building with it, you wouldn't necessarily know it. And so from here, we're going to go ahead and snap on to this corner there, and over to this portion here, and this portion back here. Do we need to snap on to the back section? Probably not, but it will look nice in the end to do so. Snap, snap, and again, we come into this section over here. What I'm going to do, just for simplicity, I would like to have everything match together. However, it looks like that might not be the case. That might not be the most feasible thing. Oh, there we go. There we go. Snaps right in place. That snaps right in place, and then we click on you, bring you up by that much, snap you into place, and then bring you down, and go ahead and make sure you stop moving as an object. Now, over on this side, we have this beautiful retaining wall, and the beauty of this retaining wall piece is we can move the retaining wall instead of trying to add a separate wall piece. So we're going to go ahead and move the retaining wall over. Now, what we want to move it is we want to move it to the right on the x-axis, which means in the positive direction. So we are going to start with this centerpiece here. Mod pause X 10. That is plenty of space. And then, of course, by 0. And we're going to move each of the corresponding pieces so that it all fits together. Now, it's enough while not being too much. There's a little bit of a gap here. However, this gap is not going to be important once we build the house. This gap might as well not exist once the house is put into place. Now, if there were a problem with this retaining wall or this little garden section of the retaining wall, we would move those as well. However, there isn't. So it's not the most important thing in the world. Now, how are NPCs going to get up to this section? That's very important. We need our NPCs to go up there, so we're going to add in some steps. I tend to like these steps in the retaining wall area. The retaining wall sets of steps are very nice, so what I first do is I will add a small sidewalk piece, this quarter block sidewalk piece. We will do our best to add it to the exterior of the retaining wall if we can. And so some of that might require a little bit of finagling to get it all working exactly right. In this case, what we need is to put you here and to put you here. And then we'll store you for later, because eventually I'll probably need a piece like this. Wonderful. And then we will go ahead and attach the stairs. I believe for the sake of simplicity, we will attach the stairs on this side. If we can. If not, we will move it back up by 300 units and attach them while they're up here. And then drop them down by 300 units so that it all fits into place. Now, this is floating. What are we going to do about this thing floating? We are basically going to try and repeat the same process that we've had over here with some success. However, this right now is just for function. I can always come back here, beautify this up, make it sort of fit a little bit better, anything I need to. In fact, I could probably use one of these sets of retaining wall stairs in its stead if I really felt like I needed to. It already is completely closed off on all of its important faces, and it's got a nice little landing platform of its own. So perhaps we'll try this one this time. Perhaps we'll find a way to make this one work. we go. And there we go. Look at that. We've got a nice set of retaining wall stairs that match the location we need them to. And they allow NPCs to walk up. Awesome. Now, I'm not super happy with this glitchy texture, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go into the wall caps and add myself some nice looking wall caps. All these sections to the best of my ability. However, it seems they do not want to attach right now, which is fine. We can always come back and do that later if necessary. We're here to build a house, and we're already 47 minutes in. This is going to be a process. So, we're going to leave the landscaping section, and my favorite thing in this so far has been the shell kit. The shell kit is where you can get all of the materials you need for any of the brick buildings. There's a bunch of sets in here. Build with whatever you feel is most comfortable, and feel free to send me those builds, you know? Send them to me on Twitter, whatever. Yeah, send them to me on Twitter. If you want to make a video, go ahead and make a video, and just make sure to @ my VODs channel in the video, all that kind of stuff. I want to see what cool things you guys make with these, but I am going, for the sake of simplicity, I use shell kit the most, so I'm going to build with shell kit. Okay, first things first, we're going to enter shell kit, and we're going to go to foundations. Because if we were to try and attach floors directly to these grass blocks, you'd get a lot of textures glitching into each other. We don't want that here. That's not what we're here for. We want something that looks nice and clean for the most part. So there's a bunch of different foundations you could work with. You could work with simple concrete foundations that have the different brick palettes we're working with. And today we're going to build a brick house with the nice Theme 1 red, which is a richer red than the generic red that you would find around the Commonwealth. The more orangish red brick. No, today we're going to go ahead and build with the nice, the very nice looking Theme 1 red, which is a nice rich red. And so what we want to do, because these pieces are going to go ahead and snap here, and then that's just going to be way too high. We don't need it to be that high, so instead we're going to go over here to the concrete and snap them on. Find exactly where to snap them into place. Oh, we're very close here. There we go. And then we can click on you and move you up by 10 units at its base. And then move you up by 300 units. And click on you, grab you, and then these nice little corner bits. And then 1 and 2, and the nice large corner for 3. Oh, come on. Give us a shot here. Give us a shot. Oh, very close. There we go. We're for number 3. And then number 4. And you for number 5. Oh, there we go. We were very close. Now, a lot of this is going to require a certain level of imagination. Not very scary. This is doable for everyone. And because I would like this corner to match, we're going to go ahead and remove you. And instead, place you there. Ah, yes, that's right. Because this isn't 3 units wide. This is 2.5 units wide, of course. Of course that was our problem. Okay. Very simple solution here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to remove you. Go in here. We're going to use the half wide. Instead of the full wide, we're going to use the half wide piece, which you can tell by its name up there. It says half. I'm going to go ahead and use this nice little half wide piece if we can. There we go. You just need to find the right angle. And then we'll come in with the nice full corner piece. Do the same over there. And in the middle, we will use a standard full length. Or wall deep, as it's named there. Now, on one side of this, we can walk through it. On the other side, we can't. That's just the way that these happen to be placed into position. Now, what we're going to do is drop this by 300 units and see how we like it. 300. I think I'd like this a little bit higher just to make sure that the wood floors fit in place. So we're going to increase it by 10, 20, how about 25 in total? Okay, which means we will drop each of these instead of by 300, 300 minus 25, we'll go 275 units instead of 300 units. So we're going to go up here, enter into our console while we're looking at the object, and click each of these and drop them by 275, and then find 0. You want to make sure you click on all of them and move them to their new position. Because if you misclick, you could accidentally move, for instance, one of these turrets, or one of the turret platforms, or one of the wall pieces, and you wouldn't want to do that. You wouldn't necessarily... It's not exactly what most people are looking for here, you know? It's not what most people are up to. Now, what I would like is I would like a nice stair piece somewhere here. I believe I'd like the stair piece to be in between here and here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move these around, which means I'm probably going to need to do something over here. Oh well, not the end of the world. Very simple. What we're first going to do is we're going to fix this side over here by placing one of you, and then one of you. And then we'll come in and place one of these half pieces right there. We're going to move all of these back down. Well, in fact, we're going to first go ahead and attach our new piece that we're looking for. I want this. I want this nice stair piece here. Now we're going to go ahead and move all of these down into place. Before we do that, apologies, I am getting ahead of myself. I'm going to snap you. So it's still the same width. All the pieces will match up. They'll now just need to move back into place properly. We'll drop you by 300 units and then find that 0 so that it freezes in place properly. Now, any NPC can walk up and in. Is it going to be the best pathing in the world? Probably not. However, it is functional pathing. That's the biggest deal here. Is the pathing functional? If the pathing is functional, you're good, no matter what it looks like. Now, I'm probably going to move this set of stairs out a little bit because we've got the room, and it's not like we've got cars running down these streets either. Now, this is a new axis, the y-axis. If this way was X, this way, or rather this way, towards the camera and from the camera, that's going to be your y-axis. It's going to be negative if shifting it towards, if shifting it this direction, or flipped for you guys, if shifting it to the right was positive, then like any grid plane in a math problem, shifting it this direction. For me, shifting it towards me, that would be the negative direction. So we want to move this back by 10 units, 20, 30, 40, 50. I think 50 units looks pretty good so far, right? We'll go 60, 1, 2, 3, 4. 64 units. I'm happy with 64 units, and then we zero it out. Yes, wonderful. Wonderful. They merge into each other in just the right way. Now, this is important. Now that we know the general size we're working with here, we can go ahead and build upon it. What's important about having these concrete bases higher than the build plot itself is that when we go to snap in floor pieces, which we're going to go do now, we're going to use the clean floor pieces. When we go to snap it in, it actually snaps in. Look at that. Now over here's probably going to have a little bit of trouble, so we're going to move you up by just 50 units, nothing too crazy. We don't need to go too wild every time. 50 units there, and we are up and running. Look at this wonderful piece. Okay. Nope, we're good there. We've got you. No, I want you rotated. There we go. That's what we're looking for. We got that. And then we will use the clean halves, the ones that that travel the length of the block instead of the width, where the wood planks travel the length of the block, and that way it all sort of meshes together. Let's reset the time. Game hour to 10, which provides us the most amount of light, and then force weather 0002 B52A. And it's a nice bright sunny day. These are the benefits of building on PC. Now, from up here, we're going to move all these back down. We're going to move them to their original position and zero them out so that we don't have any moving textures. Wonderful. We've now got this big, beautiful plot of nice solid wood floors that we can build a nice, beautiful little house on, which is exactly our plan. Now, this is just enough space to be right outside of where these wires link up to. And if we need to, we can readjust where the wires link up, but this is right on the edge of where each of these turret pieces are placed, which is good, only because the turrets will not be breaking into the house themselves. Because that would look kind of crappy. Let's be completely honest, wouldn't be the best look in the world. Now with the concrete foundation pieces, we can probably move this wall back a little bit, just to give ourselves a little bit more breathing room. Mod pause. X -5. How does that look? We'll go 10, in fact. And zero it out. It's exactly the amount of space we need. Perfect. Perfect. Now that gap has been closed up. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Now that we've got the floor set up, we're going to go into the shared wall parts. Most of the wall pieces you're going to use are shared wall parts. And if you want to be able to attach wallpapers, shared wall parts and the classic, this one over here, the classic shell kit, are where 99% of your wallpapers will attach to. You can play around with all the other wallpaper options you feel like going with. I, for one, am not a big fan of trying to figure out where they'll place properly. If it works, and I'll find ways of being creative with it. So, we're going to use our shared wall parts over here, because a lot of this is just going to be walled off. I mean, we've got the big wall back there. We don't need windows on that side. None at all. So we're going to use shared wall parts. We're going to use theme 1. And therefore, the exterior side is this nice rich red, and the interior is this nice clean white for us to use as a nice canvas for wallpaper. Now, there's 3 options of interior plaster or paint or whatever. There's the white. If we move further down, there's green. And if we move one further down, we have blue. But the white ones are simple because you can apply, with all 3, you can apply any wallpaper, but this is a nice clean look. If we just wanted to leave it this way, this is the cleanest option we have. If we wanted to go for, a modern, open floor plan interior, this is probably what we would use. On this back wall, I'm going to go with 3, or rather 2.5 units. And it looks like we do need to readjust that wire, folks. Okay, not the biggest deal in the world. Not the end of the world, so we're going to place that back into storage momentarily. We're going to come over here, over into our power connectors, wall connector. Snap you to you, you to you, and remove that wire. Wonderful. It does the exact same job. We do need to move you out of the way momentarily. What's going on there? Sorry. Very funny message from my dad. I'm not gonna. It's a little mean. I'm not gonna say it here. Okay, so we go back into theme 1. I'm going to use this centerpiece. Actually, no. To match it up with the floor pieces, if my half floor pieces are over there, I'm going to have my half wall pieces match up there. We're going to place you in, McGregor, and then we're going to come over here and place you in. Now, you're going to rotate the objects a lot with your mouse, or however you rotate them in Xbox. I imagine one of your 2 joysticks is the rotation, maybe the D-pad, I don't know. And then we always want to attach these corner caps, otherwise it's going to look very blocky, and there's going to be some of the white is going to show in the exterior. Looks very unprofessional, don't want to work it that way. There we go, we use a corner piece, and then this section snaps directly to the corner pieces. I'm going to bring that up by 3, and we can move all these back down into place. All right, look at that. We've got that whole wall taken care of. We've got this just barely peeking through. Let's see what we can do to fix that. We're going to click on it. Mod pause. Z, or not Z. Y. 0.1. No, not 0.1. We want it to move by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then back to 0, because we don't want it to continue to move over and over again. There we go. Now that's a nice, clean wall section. Over here, we probably could have added a window on this section. Maybe we will. Perhaps we will, because now it's not just the wall that's just staring at it right there. So how about we do that? We will add a window section here by going into the Classic Shell Kit Theme 1 to match the reds together. You see? Nice deep red on there. And instead of this door piece, we're going to go with one of these window pieces. Now, if you do not plan on adding wallpapers, these corner window pieces are beautiful because they add plenty of light, and it's one less object you need to place in your settlement. However, I like using wallpapers, and wallpapers do not like to attach to these wall sections. I couldn't tell you why. It's a quirk of Bethesda, probably something to do with the mod. I'm not the one who created this mod. So instead, I'm just going to run with one of these. And go with you. And we'll go back into the shared pieces, and we will add from theme 1, one of you. Wonderful. Now, how does that look so far? Oh no! Did I build with the basic instead of theme 1? I did, didn't I? I did. Oh man, I built some of that with the basic instead of theme 1. Okay, well, that's doable. That's very, very easily fixed. Because these two sections, or... yes, these two sections we can go ahead and replace very easily. I'll probably use them for some other build at some point. And then we go and snap those into place instead. Wonderful. Super, super simple. There's a reason it is called Snappy Build. Now, next what's important to me is that we get this door placing just right, because we want it to correspond with the stairs. So the door we're going to use from the Classic Shell Kit, Theme 1, we're going to use this door here, because the stairs lead directly up to that door. We may need to move ourselves a little bit to get the placement just right, but there we go. Looks great. And then we will go back into the shared wall parts, and we will use, instead of one of these, which would be one less object we need to place, we will use it just momentarily so that we've got the all of the pieces lined up properly. But instead of you, we're going to use two of you. Why? Once again, it's because these pieces are half wall wide, or rather half block wide, so I want the half wide walls here. And then we will place another one on this side. Make sure it matches up. Place in a corner, and then snap everything else to that corner piece. Now, I have a little bit of a dilemma. I could replace these with a window piece. I could very easily replace these two pieces with a window piece, so we've got some extra light coming through, and I think I probably will. But in a normal situation, I would probably not worry too much about it. Now, we're going back to the classic, theme 1, over here to this nice window piece. Great, we get lots of light coming in, and while the window doesn't match up with this one, that's because this one is a doorway, and the top of the top of the window inset matches with the top of the door frame. Nice. Lots of light coming through here. This is important because this is the front room. This is the front room. Back here, I'm probably going to put something like a bathroom in. I don't know. Something. But we're going to continue. Now, over here, what we're going to do is we're going to place a 2 window on each of these pieces. This is what I like to do. I like to place the 2 windows, and then in the center, we will place a 1 window. It gives us a nice amount of light and a nice little little centering look to it. Looks good. I happen to like it. You can do whatever you want, but this is the tutorial piece. Very quickly, I have a Discord message to look at. That's kind of important. All right, there we go. Plans, future plan stuff. It's, frankly, none of your guys' business, but I don't mean that in a mean way. Anyway, here we go. So this is what we've got for the first floor. When I build, I like to build a layout for the first floor before I go ahead and actually start putting objects in here. So I need to find out where everything's going to go. Back here, I believe I'm going to go ahead and place a bathroom. Maybe it'll be the length of both of these. Maybe it'll just be it'll just be a half bath. I don't know. Probably just a half bath section. But we're going to go all the way to the end of the shell kit walls. We're going to go to interior, clean, white. And now we get all these nice interior walls to place, which you can place wallpapers on both sides of. Really good stuff. Really nice stuff. Okay, I'm also going to need to factor in a set of stairs somewhere around here, and I think I'd like to factor them in probably in this section. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to go like this. We're going to find our half door. One of my favorite objects here, this half door piece. We're going to place you there. We're going to go for another one of you, interior half wall. You don't want to place properly, so again, in order to make sure it wants to place properly, we're gonna raise you up above the objects, place you there, and tap you into our storage, and then click on you and drop you back down. Lots of nice little tricks to make the Bethesda system work for you. There we go. We're going to place a nice little corner cap. There's several corner caps. There's these tiny ones, there's these round columns, and then there's these rounded corner caps for larger pieces, if you feel the need for them. I think we're good there. Now, for a moment, we're going to jump up here, and we are going to place down a set of stairs. Which set of stairs am I going with? In most buildings, I would probably use a Deco Kit set of stairs, but today we're working with the Snappy build system, so I will keep it nice and simple for all of us. We're going to go back over to the floors, enter the floors, and go into stairs, which are in the subset of floors, I guess. I can kind of see the logic there. And we are going to look for clean, there we go, these nice clean ones that match the clean flooring. We're going to make sure that they snap to that wall piece. That way you can access the stairs over here. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Okay. Now, these will be the stairs to the second floor, and on the second floor, we will probably build the bedrooms. But right now, we're worried about the placement of everything down here first. Where am I going to build the kitchen? I think it only makes sense that the kitchen probably be built on this back wall section. But how big of a kitchen are we building? That's the next important question. I think we will build a kitchen that takes up these 2 block spaces here. That's probably it. We're going to be a 1 block by 2 block kitchen, or a 2 block by 1 block, however you want to look at it. Point is, that's going to be the kitchen space, which leaves this whole section up here as the front room, probably the living room space. Okay, let's go ahead and section these off just to make them a little bit simpler. Somewhere in this front room space, we're going to need to put a dining table or something. And of course, we're going to need to put some seating, some living room seating space. All right. So we are going to go back over here to the interior, clean walls, and I'm going to try something that I don't tend to do too often in house buildings. We're going to use these interior short walls. I'm going to snap these into place, and here's how this is going to work. We're also going to make sure to snap one of you, which means instead we're first going to we're going to click on you, bring you up by 300 units. We're going to find you, make sure you snap into place by placing that below you, I imagine, and then snapping you into place. Yes, we'll hold on to you because somewhere else in Jamaica Plains we'll need that. We'll move both of these pieces back down by 300 units. There we go. Had a little bit of a mishap there. Beautiful. Now that these are both the same height here, what we're going to do is we're going to lower them again. We're going to lower them by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 units? 50 units seems about right. And then, of course, settle them back to 0. We'll move you down by 50 units and set you back to 0. Okay, cool. Nice little dividing wall creates a little bit of a counter space for us, you see? Which we can use when we place some stools here. This can become a little counter space. It also helps to divide this larger space up so we know where everything goes, what it all looks like. Now, next thing I like to do is I like to place all of the wallpapers so I know what the spaces are supposed to look like that way. So the first wallpapers we're going to place are for the bathroom. These ones are super, super simple. We're going to leave Shell Kit momentarily. We're going to go over to wallpapers and carpets. I like to go with carpets first. We're going to go to this nice half floor piece. And we're going to look for a simple white tile. Where's that? There it is, the simple white tiles. These are your bathroom tiles. I like the bathroom tile look, personally. Big fan. Big fan of the clean bathroom tile look. We're going to need to disable these momentarily. We need to move these into place. Where will into place be for these? Oh? Ooh, almost. There we go. Enable them again. And now they flow together. Look at that. Covers up that whole 3 block space. Even that, or 3/4 block space. Wonderful. Now that we've got that, we will leave the carpets and floors section. We'll go into the wallpapers proper. We will use shared interior, and we will start with the half walls, or rather the half door, because the half door is always a bit of a hassle. Always a little bit of a hassle. If you've watched any of my other building streams, the half door wallpaper is always a bit of a hassle. We're going to go close to the very end of this list here. And what I like to use for all of my bathrooms to signify that they are bathrooms, in fact, is very close. Where is it? Right behind this red tile piece, we like these. These simple, larger tile pieces. You can find these in the game placed on the bathroom walls of on most walls really, but on the bathroom walls of the House of the Future from the start of the game. Nate and Nora's house at the beginning. Luckily, we attached that one first. It helps when you attach the door piece first. Now we're going to use the half walls because we've got 2 of these half wall pieces to work with. Really 3 half wall pieces to work with. All the way towards the end here. Nice. Nice and placed. Okay. We're also going to go ahead and make sure we attach one back here. Make it simple for us. Ooh, you don't want to snap properly. That's okay. Snap you. And then, after we snap the full wall, we'll snap the half wall. Because sometimes they like to snap to each other when they can't snap to anything else. All the way towards the end here. Reds and nice white. Got you snapped into place, and then we will come in and snap you. There we go. Nice. The wallpapers like to snap together. Beautiful. And then we need one more full wall piece right there. Okay, this is our bathroom space. We will decorate it with bathroom things in a moment. Awesome. Okay, now over here, we're going to go with we're going to decorate the kitchen space next. The kitchen space is fun to decorate. We're going to go ahead and decorate the kitchen space. We're going to start with the floors. I always like to start with the floors because that is the easiest thing for me to go ahead and figure out. We're going to use these nice full floor pieces. And for the full floors, I think we should use, where is it? Where is it? I like this nice one that kind of looks like it's got, you know, some almost workout mat looking thing to it. Sometimes I'll use the tiles like I use for the, you know, if I have the space for it. Sometimes I'll use the tiles like I do for the bathroom. But I think this time I'm going to just use this nice workout mat, almost floor space. These are also in the, I believe these are also a part of the starting house and sanctuary. I believe those are part of it. I could be wrong. I could entirely be wrong, but I'm fairly certain those are part of it. Okay, nice. We got those placed. Now we'll place all of the wall pieces. This is going to give us the most trouble, so we're going to start with this. We're going to increase your height by 400 each. There we go. And then we'll go with the wall pieces. What wallpaper would I like to use for this section? We're going to need the half wide walls. What wallpaper would match nicely for this kitchen? I'm thinking perhaps we place, where is it? Yeah, perhaps we place this tile. Instead of on the floor, we'll place it on the wall section. Nice little backsplash, you know? You find backsplashes a lot in houses today. Go with the backsplash piece. There it is. Just on the interior section. And then we will move them all back down by 400 and 0. So 2 commands for each of these when you move them back down. Wonderful. Now they're in place, and now it looks like it's got a little bit of a backsplash. Perfect. Perfect. Now, because this is going to be a little bit of a counter space, maybe I could have put this on both sides, but we will probably match something else on this side. Now, let's go ahead and use, instead of the shared interior, I'm going to go all the way down to the shell wallpapers, interior materials, and we're going to look for this nice double window section. We're going to go ahead and bring up the backsplash texture. There we go. Place you there. And then we just need to use our standard wall pieces for these other 3. The shared walls, that is. Our shared wall, simple shared wall. We're going to go all the way back to the left. There's a lot of back and forth, ladies and gentlemen. Lots and lots of back and forth. Now, where did I place it? There it is. There it is. And boom, all of the walls of the kitchen space are nice and decorated. Now, I could probably have gone ahead and attached a separate... I could have attached 2 instead of just this one. But you know what? We'll keep it. This is a simple build. We'll keep it like this. Very easy stuff. Now, we need a different wallpaper for this main living space and for this exterior of the door. What are we going to do for this? I have a favorite set of wallpapers that I like to use, so I think we're going to use this, either this greenish blue or this green. I think I like the green for this build, so we will work with this green, but it's not going to be on this wall piece. It is instead going to be first on this first on the door. Because I said at the beginning, the doors are the most difficult. If you enter and it looks like it's not there, use your mouse or whatever to rotate, and it will probably show up. You just need to rotate it back a little bit. Now, where is this piece? I moved past it. There we go. A nice green. Very 50s, very retro. Definitely fits the theme we've got going on here. So now that's placed. Let's go over to this half wall piece. Sometimes I have to move the stairs to place these half wall pieces. We will see. Ooh, look at that. I didn't have to this time. Wonderful. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and worry about the doors, or rather the windows before we worry about the door. So we're going to go back into the shell section, interior, windows, starting with the double window because that's the one we were already on. We will find this piece, and then I will need to change the time of day likely because it is getting dark again. Place you down, and then we have 3 single window sections. However, set game hour to 10, and it's still nice and bright out. Wonderful. Stays nice and bright out too. Can be a little bright for some screens. This is definitely brighter on my screen than you guys are seeing it because, different. My screen is at a different brightness than the game brightness is. That's not an important point here. Now we're gonna find the proper texture right there. Nice. We're gonna need this 2 more times for this. And for this, and now I can snap in this the half wide piece. So very quickly, we're gonna find the door, and for this door we want the inside. You read the whole name, it says inside. If it were the outside, we'd be getting the opposite, but we want the inside. That way the texture is on the interior portion instead of the exterior portion. And we want our nice, where is it? Oh, almost. There we go. That's what we're looking for. I'm going to place you in like that. Wonderful. And then we're going to go and grab our last 2 half wall pieces. Shared interior, half. Snap you into place. And snap you into place. Wonderful. Occasionally I will do a wood trim. However, the wood trim would not work for this corner or for this door. I'm just going to leave it as is. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it as is. This is a simple system. I don't want to get you guys caught up on too much of the intricacies. You will find out most of these things as you play on your own. I'm going to let you guys figure it all out. But now with this bar, we are going to go ahead and place a nice wood texture to the bar. We're going to need 2 wood textures. First, we're going to need the same wood texture in 2 different locations. We're going to go with you. Nice wood paneling. I used this wood paneling on the courthouse most recently. We're going to go into Command Console, or rather the console section, Mod Pause Z300. Snap you on. Down and 0, and then click down and 0. Wonderful. And then do the same over here. Where is it? There we go. And we're going to use the half height. Back to the left. Ah, yes. Beautiful. Wonderful. Okay. Now, this top section, we don't tend to worry about this top section. Ooh, there's no wallpapers that handle the top section or this section. We're not going to be too worried about that. It's not the end of the world, and this is all about our creativity. If we can, move past this, if we can find a solution to it, then wonderful. If not, it's okay. At the end of the day, you can be as detailed about these things as you want to. Now, we've got all these spaces set out. We are just about halfway through our stream today. I do not believe I'm going to be able to get this all taken care of in one stream, so this tutorial is going to be split across 2 streams, and then I will, besides uploading these VODs, I will go ahead and mash them together into one tutorial video once everything is said and done. All right, now that we've got all that handled, interesting little differences in texture here. We can't do too much about that, but okay, that's fine. Now that we've got that all handled, we will start decorating this first floor. I like to decorate the first floor before I move on to the second floor. Basically how all of these builds work. Why do I like to do that? I don't like the ceiling to get in the way whenever I'm trying to place objects. And to minimize that, I just build the first floor before I build the ceiling. Simple stuff, guys. Very, very simple stuff. You guys will all find your own solutions to these things. Maybe you use certain object glitches to get things into place. Whatever. I like to use console commands because it's simple and it's accessible to the PC. But there's a lot of object glitches that are accessible on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, depending. You go ahead and look them up on settlement object placement glitches. However, there's plenty of videos out there that do it extremely well. However, that's not what I'm looking for. Simply not my thing. So, I said most of the objects we're going to use are in Homemaker, OC Decorator, and Snappy builds. However, I am also going to be pulling from my decorations and my furniture section, and probably some of the power section. So, if you want, however you want to decorate these things, you go ahead. I don't necessarily know which mods add which items. You should probably go through my mods list, decide for yourself which ones you want to add on, and go from there. So to decorate this bathroom, almost every single object we will be using will be in the decorations, miscellaneous, and bathroom sections. I believe all of these objects come from either OC Decorator or Homemaker, but I do not know for sure. We're going to go in here. First thing we're going to place, of course, it's a bathroom. We're going to place the toilet. Or whatever you European people like to call these things. We're going to go ahead and place the toilet in the restroom. Now, we're going to go ahead and place it. Use commands to get it exactly into the place we want. Odd angle Z1. Wonderful. Odd pause Y10, 20, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 35. Beautiful. And then we will go ahead and center that. X, 5, and 0. Awesome. That's about as centered as we're going to get it, because as you can see, this texture isn't, an even texture. It's just a functional texture. So the toilet's going to be back there. Next, we're going to go ahead and place our toilet paper. Kind of important, if you have a toilet, to have toilet paper as well. Kind of a big deal. If you look really carefully, you can see that that object is actually floating. I don't want that. You might be okay with it. I am a little detailed about these things. Mod pause. X. 1, 2, 3. Nope. 2 is just about right. And then 0. Wonderful. Now I could move it a little farther that way, a little farther that way, but I think that's perfectly fine. If you're sitting on a toilet, that's probably exactly where you want your toilet paper to be completely honest. Now, this is a home. This isn't a business, so I'm also going to put a toilet paper rack that has a newspaper on it. So I call it the newspaper rack. The game calls it a clean toilet paper rack. I'm going to go ahead and place that about there. And that is also off of the wall, so we're going to go in here. Mod position X -1, because it's moving to our left. However you are located on the XY axis, you will have to change the location of these objects based on what you're doing, but I am doing it this way. There we go. You can read while you're using the toilet. You can obviously have plenty of toilet paper there. Beautiful. Plenty of objects there. Okay. Next, this bathroom needs a sink. Obviously. We're going to stay here in the miscellaneous bathroom objects. We're going to find our sink. There we go. It's called a vault sink. I use these mostly because they dispense clean water. And it fits the vibe of this settlement, This is a rebuilt city. The Minutemen are very focused on rebuilding and repairing the Commonwealth, so clean water is a big, big deal. There we go, we've got that placed, and once again, it is an object floating off of the wall, so we're going to move this into place. Only needed 3 that time, and I think that's about the proper height. Yeah, seems okay. Seems okay from there. Now, perhaps it would have been smart for me to put the door on this wall instead of this wall, because if I want the door to swing inwards, it's going to swing to the left. But I can always have it swing outwards and to the right. Not the end of the world. All right. And we, of course, want a mirror inside of this restroom as well, so that people can see themselves and see what they need to take care of, what they need to clean up. There we go. By 3 units, and right there. I placed that pretty close to center. There's not too much more I can do about that. Why by 1? Yeah, okay. That's as close to center as I want to get it. There's one other thing we're missing. Well, 2 other things we're missing here. We need soap and a way to dry our hands. So again, come in here, clean soap tray. I'm going to place you there. Move you into place. And then we're also going to place one of these clean towels. Now, I use the short ones. The tall ones are for the shower, but I use the short ones here as essentially hand towels. We'll place you on this side of the wall. And then make sure you are not floating. Ooh, the only object in this room that wasn't floating off the wall. Nice. Okay, that's the whole bathroom decorated. Very simple. You can add some other things. We're going to go over to the OC Decorator tab, into Personal Effects and Cleaning and Toiletries. We're going to find ourselves the plunger. Where's the plunger? There we go. There's the plunger. This is a home bathroom, so you're probably going to keep some of the toilet accessories rather close to the toilet itself. We're going to place you there, and we're going to go ahead and place a metal bucket. Doesn't matter if it's tarnished or not. We just need a bucket in case there's a spill. We'll place you. Yeah, we'll place you right there, right under the sink. It can also be used as a trash can if you feel like it, and it's an object that's not going to get knocked around. That's what's important. Okay, now that that is all handled, we could put the ceiling on this and put some lights in here, but we will first go ahead and decorate this kitchen space. The kitchen space has several default kitchen objects. You know, you need a stove, you need a fridge, and you need some counter space to go ahead and work with. So let's go into Homemaker. As I said, one of the 3 major mods we're using today: Homemaker, Furniture, Surfaces, Counters, and Cabinets. And we are going to first go ahead and find a way to take use of you for this wall section over here. Find a great way to go ahead and use you. Or rather, Y. Aha, there we go. We can see it's not exactly parallel. Mod angle Z1. Nope, that is too far. Mod angle Z minus 0.1. 3, 4, 5. Aha. That is about as close as we're likely to get. Looking over at the object, and then mod pause Y 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go 10, 20, 35, 45, 55. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That is perfectly fine for me. Yes. Yes, that works nicely. We might move it on the x-axis to the right a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 0 it out. Okay, that's plenty for me. It's not going to be a perfect fit, but it's a really solid fit. That's the part that matters. I could move this wall inwards a little bit. It might make some of the textures clash a little bit, but there's a little bit of movement we've got with those textures as well. I'm just trying to decide. Do I want this? Yes, I do. I do want this to move in. We're going to start with the wall piece. Mod pause X minus 10, 20, 30. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 33 sounds about right. And then 0 it out. And then come over here, click on you, minus 33, and 0. Click on you, 33, 0. Okay, beautiful. And looks like none of the textures want to clash with each other. Even better. It's really, really hard to get that to work properly. Okay, but that's good. We've now got a counter space, and we can put some stools here to make it a little bit of a bar seating area. Awesome. Now we're going to go ahead and enter into the, once again in surfaces, counter and cabinets, we're going to find some of our other surface objects here. Yes. Yes, very important stuff. Everybody knows we need a sink of some sort. Now, I could use the clean objects. I think I will use clean objects this time. I tend not to use the clean objects. However, it would be worth a shot. Now, where would these clean objects be? I believe... Oh, no, they're not, are they? They are not back there. Instead, we've got this guy to work with as our clean sectional. Okay. Yes, we will go ahead and place you down and then use this floor grid to go ahead and find the right angle. The right angle and position. All right. Mod pause X10, 11, 12, yes. And then Y by 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 7 is about right, but we're good with the 8. Yes, so that would be 28 units in from where we initially put it, and 15 units right from where we initially put it, just about. And then, of course, you zero it out so the object isn't shaking around. Nice, clean texture. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, of course, we've got this nonsense up here, but that's not going to be in sight. That's important. It's not going to be visible. We don't need to worry about it, really. This is all about the object illusion, Michael. It's an illusion, Michael. Give me that reference. One of my favorite shows out there. Go ahead and give me that reference. All right, we're also going to go ahead and attach some of these. I like the clean texture we've got here. Nice, clean look. Now, can these snap together? I do not believe they can. Okay, that means we'll just have to place them in one by one. Not the end of the world. Really not the most difficult thing. Once you have a hand, once you've got a grasp on the console commands or whatever your solution is inside of the console itself. Or on consoles, rather. Whatever your solution happens to be, good for you. I love the console command setup. Very simple stuff. Now, that is very close to even. I think that's actually even itself. Mod pause Y 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope. 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, 64 in. And X minus 10, 20, 40, or 30 rather, then 40. We want 30. 29, 8, 7, 6. Right? Yes. Nice. Okay, creates a lot of usable space here. Now I believe if we were to mash these together, it would be very interesting. And probably work out in our favor. So let's see. All right. Well, we have a little bit of an issue here where the textures want to kind of fight each other. So with the new object I've placed, mod pause y 0.001. 2, 4, 5. No, we will move that back by 5 actually instead of forward by 5. And then we will just move it by 0.1 instead. That seems to fix most of it. Beautiful. Yes, now it just looks like an extension. I actually like that quite a bit. Okay, you might be thinking, what's with this empty space? This is where we're going to go and enter all the way back over here. We're going to go Furniture Appliances, and we're going to look for the nice clean... Where is it? The clean... Yes, the clean blue refrigerator. This is a settlement object that allows us to place items in here, actually. We're going to place you down first. Make sure you line up on the XY axis. $10, $11, $12. Okay. And then move you back some more. Ooh, maybe move you forward a little bit. I don't know. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And then 0 you out. Nice. Okay, the object is nice and snug in that section. No visual gaps, no nothing. There's a nice clean space as well. Okay. Awesome. We've got a nice bar counter, and we've got some more nice counter space. Plenty of space here for lots and lots of decoration. Lots and lots of decoration. But before we get to all of the kitchen decoration, I want to make sure we can set up what this front space is going to look like. So, we need two things in this front space. We need a little bit of a dining space, and we need a little bit of a living room space. How are we going to separate those things? I believe we're going to put the dining table probably here. Yes, probably there. On those two blocks, that's likely where the dining room's going to be. And then this whole section here is going to be the living room space. We'll see how it works. We might change our mind. I don't know. However, one thing we are going to keep to, we're going to go furniture, seats, all the way over to stools. And I like to go ahead and make sure my stools are the right direction first by finding the industrial stool. Nice, you are facing the right way. And then we'll go and find a nice stool that a nice clean stool, yes. Wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and place you right there. And right there. Right there. Yeah, we'll move you right about there. Okay, good. And then we're going to come over on this angle. Y minus 5. That's good. Awesome. Plenty of leg room. That was my thing. I want to make sure there's enough leg room, and it's just visually, I don't like the look of NPCs sort of glitching into the walls or whatever. Not my biggest thing, but there we go. All nice and in place right there. More seating here at the bar. Now we need a little bit of a dining table. Yes, so we're gonna go in furniture tables, and we're gonna go with the home tables as well. Now, I like to use the clean objects because the rest of the objects we're using are clean, but if you're going for a dirtier look, that's on you. If you want to go for a completely nuclear wasted space that people are just living in because it works, all up to you. It fits within my lore that the Minutemen are focused on rebuilding, and part of rebuilding is, refurbishing objects, which is what I'm looking to do. Things need to be cleaned. It does not make sense to me that after 210 years, people people still choose to live in the worst possible positions in life. Kind of sounds stupid. Okay, this is not properly this is not parallel to the wood planks here. So we're gonna go mod angle Z1, and I think that fixed it. Zero you out. Okay, nice, nice. Perfectly fine placement. We don't want to block the door, of course. So we're gonna move you back, actually. All right. Yes, we can put a chair here, 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 and here, alongside, of course, our nice bar seating as well. All right. Now let's go ahead and work on that seating. Okay. Sometimes I like to make sure that all of my seating reaches properly. We're going to go clean chairs. Yes, it is at the right angle. Beautiful. We're going to go all the way down here to clean kitchen chairs. A lot of the clean settlement objects you will find because of some of the DLC. For instance, the clean kitchen chair is an object only available in the Vault Tech DLC, where you get the vaults. I'm going to place you there. I'm going to come over here. Click you like this. And there we go. Place you... Where placing you? Place you there. Come on this angle. Boom. Now I've got you. We'll place you there. Wonderful. And one more. I'm gonna face you like that. Come in here. Aha. And place you just about there. Now, while everything is placed here, obviously we want to give people the opportunity to sit here. So we'll move these out at exactly the right position. $30 units for you. Nope, we don't want Y by 10. We want X by positive 10. And then over here we want X by negative 10. Then here we want to do a couple things. We want to make an angle. Mod angle Z1, 2, 3. Mod pause Y 10, 20, 30. 35, 40. Okay. 40, yeah, 45. And then mod pause Y, or rather X, minus 5. Or 3. Okay, minus 4, not minus 5, and then 0 you out as well. There we go. All the chairs are ready for people to sit in them. The legroom will be proper, everything like that. Awesome. Now this section, we're going to make a little seating area. I would like to turn that section into right where the TV is going to be. So we need to place our seating accordingly. We need to place our couch facing the TV. We'll probably put a chair maybe over there or over here. Something to turn this into a nice little living space that's a bit that clearly defines it as opposed to the kitchen or the dining space without putting a bunch of walls. A little bit of an open concept, more so out of necessity than anything else, but okay, might be a little open concept. Whatever. So we're gonna go couches is the first thing we're placing, and what I would like is I'd like to place them from behind. So we're gonna click on you. Where are you? There we go. And yes, okay. I happen to really enjoy how the gray couch kind of just fits with everything. So we're going to go with the gray couch here. I could go with the office couch for that black leather, but I like the gray couch very much. It's fabric, which means people got to be careful about getting stuff spilled on it. but you can put Scotchgard, I guess. I don't know. Or an equivalent to Scotchgard on this couch and probably be okay. Now, we do need to mod angle Z by 1, maybe? No. By half instead. Actually, no. Were we good? Ooh, we were almost good. Okay. We wanted to mod angle Z by negative 0.2, in fact. Or rather, negative 0.1 at first instead. That's what we wanted to do. Wonderful. Okay. Now, depending on how deep the coffee table and wherever the TV is going to sit is, we might want to move this around a little bit. Mod pause X 10, 20? 20 seems about right for now. If we have to move it later, we have to move it later. Whatever. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But next, we're going to go ahead and I want to place the TV. So we're going to go Decorations, Miscellaneous Electronics, Televisions. And we are going to place this guy over here, the standing one. Instead of placing it on top of a little table of its own, we've got this guy. Because there's a different settlement object I want to place in here as well. And we'll get to that guy in a second. But we've got you, and we want to make sure these feet are more or less lined up together. And it looks like they are. So we will go mod pause X minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we want to make sure this is not peeking out of the back wall. And it's not. Look at that. Not peeking out of the back wall. Okay, the TV will stay on until we leave the settlement build mode. That's okay. That's just how it is. Looks like there's not a whole lot of room here for a coffee table, so we simply won't worry about a coffee table. Instead, we'll place something else that's I happen to think is really cool. But first, actually no, well, not but first. We'll go to radios. And we will go all the way towards the end here, where I have the nice, clean radios here. Now, this is from a mod. I don't remember which mod, but it is likely a Homemaker or something, or one of the settlement object mods. Look through my list yourself, but I do believe it's probably Homemaker. Here we go. I want the one that is tuned to Diamond City Radio, because these people are going to want some entertainment at the end of the day, not some propaganda, probably. And the business of my Minutemen isn't to be propagandistic. The business of my Minutemen is to be strictly helpful. And if the settlement needs help, well, it's got a wall of turrets. It's probably okay. It can probably handle itself 9 times out of 10. So we're likely good on that end. All right. Are the leg pegs, say that 10 times fast, are those about even to this line here? Mod angle Z 0.1. Yeah, that's where we wanted it to be. And then we'll go to 0, of course. And then mod pause X minus 10, 20, 30. Maybe a little farther. We'll see. 40. Ooh, 40 might have been a little too much. 39, 38. Yeah, that's good. And then 0 U out. Awesome. So they've got the nice little stereo system here in this house. And we want to put a couple of other objects here. Because I said we were mostly using Homemaker, OC Decorator, and Snappy Build, I'm not going to get too much into some of the other mods I have for some of the furniture. We're just going to stick with those 3. So we're going to leave the Decorations tab, back into Furniture, Seats, and we want clean chairs. Now this time we want one of these, a nice matching chair. I love these guys. Love these nice cozy looking chairs. Now this doesn't need to be exactly even with our other placement. In fact, it kind of makes sense it would be turned a little bit towards the TV even. Because, I mean, you know, everyone's crowded around the TV trying to figure out what's going on, whatever. However, I think I'm actually going to place it like this. That way it's angled towards the couch, more of a conversational position. More of a conversational position than an entertainment-focused position. Great. Now, I do want to place somewhere that allows for whoever's living in here, you know, to fit the theme look up the term verisimilitude, and that's basically what I'm going for here. I do want to place a little bit of a side table, so we're going to go back into tables, home, and we're going to grab a side table. I think that we're going to go with this one because this matches the stereo piece. Yes, we're going to place one of you here. Oh, come on. Get you placed. Because the couch is properly angled, is properly aligned with the, aligned on the XY axis. We want the coffee table to be as close as we can. I think we eyeballed that one pretty darn well this time, so we're not going to worry too much about that. We're going to hold you there. Now, people can place objects on it, whatever. And then, what else do I want to do? This looks like a little bit of a void space, but I'm sure we can figure out something to do with it. We can definitely figure out something. I think for now, though, we're probably just going to leave it as is. We will worry about the major decoration probably in the next episode. We are now, or most of the decoration, maybe not the major decoration, but most of the decoration in the next episode. These streams are generally 3 hours long. This tutorial is probably going to be a supercut of these two just brought into one for a big tutorial on how I do my thing, if that's what you're interested in. You could also just watch both of the VODs individually. But at least for this first VOD, we are almost exactly 2 hours into what we need to do. So I need to take a very quick break to go ahead and make sure I get something to drink, because I have been speaking without drinking anything for 2 hours straight. I'm very thirsty, so I will be right back, but if you're watching on the VODs channel, you have no time to wait. All right, see you guys in just a couple minutes. All right, welcome back. Apologies for the wait. I was gone a little bit longer than I was expecting to, but we're back. Here we are. All right, I'll make up the difference. That was like, I think it was less than a 10-minute difference. So I'll make up the difference for the stream. Anyway, okay, we've got most of this downstairs section all decorated. There's a few things I do want to place while we're down here. In fact, we might as well go right on into the OC Decorator stuff, because I haven't explained my process for OC Decorator yet. We know my idea for the buildings. We know generally how I like to decorate the interiors, but we don't have the OC Decorator decorations, which is where you can get really super granular. Now, I will say, before we get into OC Decorator, which is over here, it's this tab that's got the Life Giver perk. That's the logo for the tab. So, with OC Decorator, there's a version on consoles, and I believe it's available on PC through the Bethesda mod page, that allows you to have pre-combined settlement objects. So, pre-generated clutter. It's extremely resource efficient, super useful for consoles especially, and if you don't have, if object placement creativity is boring or tedious for you, first and foremost, I completely understand. I'm in the same boat a lot of times, and if it's just not your thing, if you want the detail but you don't necessarily care about it being unique or whatever each and every single time, I was there at one point. There is a version of OC Decorator that has pre-combined clutter. I don't remember what it's called, but I can make sure for the supercut video to look it up and figure out which one that is. I'll make sure to place it. I'll make sure to place the name of it for the Bethesda page, as well as for the Nexus mod page. I'm sure it's available on Nexus mod. But if you look up OC Decorator, you will probably find the pre-combined version as one of the available versions. I happen to like the granular detail. It extends the process to a super long process, but it's fun for me. It's part of my creative sort of stroke here. Hey, NCR Ranger Bravo. If you're just joining us, of course, we're doing a tutorial here for everyone as to how it is I like to build my stuff. We will probably have to do a two-parter for this. Anyway, let's get into OC Decorator. Most of the decoration is going to be kitchen related because we've got a lot of open space here and it's all very blank right now. I don't want it to be blank. I want objects to be here. So we're going to go into the kitchen and dining. We're going to go kitchenware and supplies. This is where we're starting first. Okay. first thing is first, I like to go ahead and place down what's going to be on the stove. I tend to put some combination of frying pan, pot, tea kettle, and saucepan. I like to put some kind of combination of those four. They don't all have to be on there. Maybe not all of them are even in my set, but I like to place them because if you choose the correct kind of stovetop, whether in your appliances or through Homemaker, I tend to go with the Homemaker side because I know through Homemaker they're actually complete static objects. You can go ahead and place your pots and pans on top of the different burners. Really cool. Really, really cool stuff. So, I think for this one we're going to go with the tea kettle. I like the tea kettle. Yes, here we go. A nice clean tea kettle because we're going with mostly clean objects here. Nice clean tea kettle. Where am I placing you? Oh, come on. Where am I placing you? Ah, that's it. You want to get stuck up there. Okay. That's fine. We'll place you right about there. And then we will place a pot. Where is it? Yes, the cooking pot. We'll place you right over here. Nice. And then we're going to need our salt, pepper, and cooking oil, of course. Of course, we need some cooking oil. There we go. If you ever have a weird position where an object wants to float, try rotating it and see if maybe the hitbox of the object, the actual object, the object collision itself will change. All of these objects will rotate and change their object collision, and then you just place it down and see how the next one works. Most of the time, if you fix it for one, you can easily fix it for the rest. Not really a problem. But there we go. Got all those placed there. We got a nice, not even a standing mixer. We have an automated mixer station right over here. The evolution of the stand mixer. I really would like a stand mixer, but I do not bake enough to use a stand mixer. The only thing I'm really going to put over here is a nice rolling pin, just to match it, you know? Just a little bit of decoration right about there. Okay. Okay, over at this sink, we've got a couple things I'm going to place down. I'm going to place down a dirty rag, but really just a, dish rag, this kind of thing. Well, it's got a slightly dirty texture, but okay. What's important is that we can place it. In fact, we might place it up here this time. I usually place it in this bottom right corner, and then I leave the kitchen and dining, go to personal, cleaning and toiletries, and I find the bar of soap. There we go. We got soap, and I like to place the soap up here as well. Where am I placing you? Yeah, that works. That works fine for me. Nice. Nice. We've got that. Oh, man. You messed up trying to buy Fallout New Vegas because you've got $7? What do you mean you tried to, you messed up? Did you miss like a sale or something? If you feel like explaining it, go ahead, but I'm going to follow and stay with this tutorial bit. Okay, so next, after we've placed these, we've got a lot of open counter space over here, so I'm probably going to put most of the other objects over here. What we are going to go and do back in kitchen and dining section. No, not kitchenware. We want dinnerware. Dinnerware is where your plates, cups, and bowls are going to be. We want to stack a bunch of plates. I like to just use the basic plates because they don't need to get too fancy. Even if it's a clean house, the plates don't need to be, brand new plates or whatever. So I like to stack these. There we go. Sometimes you got to move away to to make sure that the item is actually traveling towards you. Bethesda can be weird like that. There we go. Place 3. I don't want them to angle too closely towards me. 4. Yeah, we'll go with 5. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty even stack right there. It's not leaning too much to one side or the other. Wonderful. Then we're going to go ahead and place 5 glasses down. And then I want to rotate you to make sure you're not going to gonna go ahead and stick. There we go. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I like to match the number of glasses and the number of plates, generally speaking. And then we're also going to place some coffee cups. They're the pre-war ones, but that's just because they're clean. It's not that difficult to freaking clean your coffee cups, guys. You don't want to, you know, get mono or anything from or strep throat. Oh geez, I had a long series of strep throat cases when I was a kid. I could almost tell, I could almost count. It was almost like a monthly calendar event when I was in 5th grade. It was not great. I did not have the best time in terms of health there. Well, the 5th grade was kind of fun. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. I'm gonna rotate you just a little bit. Okay, you mostly match up. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. And then I think we're also going to go ahead and use this little space over here to... the bowls don't like to stack properly. Okay, you bought the wrong thing. Oh yeah, you might as well get a $10 Steam card, you know? It's only 10 bucks. It's not an addiction if it's only 10 bucks that you buy repeatedly. Nah, it's just 10 bucks. Let's see. What else do I want to place over here? Ooh, yes, we're gonna go ahead and place back in kitchenware and supplies. We're gonna go with the bread box. They only have a tarnished version. They don't have a clean version, so I don't know why they make the distinction of, ooh, but it's tarnished. Yeah, it probably is. We're gonna go ahead and place an oven mitt. I usually try to place the oven mitt over here, but I think just to go ahead and fill out some empty space we've got, place the oven mitt here. Maybe go for a second one that's a little more charred than the first, you know? Someone's got a favorite hand or whatever. Yes, and then we'll place some coffee tins. Couple coffee tins, why not? And then we need a coffee pot. We want to use the tarnished, the pre-war. There's the pre-war. There's the tarnished. And this is the Luxo Brew, which also looks tarnished. I think we'll just go with this one. It's a nice shape. I don't use enough of the Luxo Brews. We'll place one in here. In fact, we'll place you on top of the coffee tin, because I like that look. That's kind of nice. Actually, no, we're going to stack the coffee tins. That's a cooler look. Yeah, I like that a bit more. Okay. There we go. Got all that stuff set out. And plenty of room here if we need, you know, like a cutting board or something. All that kind of stuff. Plenty of space here. In fact, we will go ahead and place... we'll place a cutting board over here. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. Nice little cutting board. Place you about there, I think. Probably. Yeah, that works. That works very well. Okay, nice. And then over here, we got a couple more objects we're going to place. We're going to find ourselves the toaster and the... Yeah, there we go. Got our toaster. We'll place the toaster over here, I think. No, we'll place the toaster over here. Yeah, I don't want the toaster too close to the sink, you know, just in case. Just in case. We'll get a hot plate as well. Hot plate next to the toaster. Sounds about right. Oh, come on. I want to switch it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And then a kitchen scale. Do I want to put a kitchen scale over here, maybe? Yeah, let's go. Let's place the kitchen scale over here. Go with you. Move the two of you, because you're now stacked on top of each other. Yay. And then a kitchen scale right in that grouping. Nice. Now that is a nice little use of space. And then, let's see. What objects haven't we placed that would work well here? What object? Ooh, yes, we will go with a colander. This is a nice tutorial house, so I'm going to just fill this thing with a bunch of cool objects. I'm going to place the colander over here. I don't know if you guys heard that weird noise, but occasionally, instead of burping, whenever I go to speak and a lot of air needs to come out, it just sort of does this like weird gargle thing while I'm speaking. I don't know. It still exchanges gases, but it's not like actually a burp. And then we've got the glass pitcher there. I think that's a solid kitchen. I think that's a well cluttered, properly laid out kitchen there. You know, everything has its place and it makes sense that it's placed there. It's all good, useful stuff. Okay, now for the kitchen table, for the little dining table we've got here, and for this counter space, we're going to use a bunch of plates, cups, and utensils here. We're going to start with the plates. The plates are always the easiest part to work with. We know where the plates need to go. They need to go in front of the chairs, or the in this case the bar stools rather. There we go. Got a nice plate there. And another one here. And another one here. All right, if you are getting annoyed by the constant sound of these turret guns, imagine how annoying it will be for whoever lives here. Imagine how much worse it will be for whoever lives here. Let's go for the same on this table. Go with the plate in each of these, in front of each of these chairs. Probably could have placed this one at the same time as the first one, but oh well. We didn't. Not the end of the world. And then place you about there. Awesome. And next we go for cups. You know, and glasses for water. All right, that is nice and actually attached to the table instead of the object. And so we'll go with you. I have kind of a routine here. I like to place the glass at the left-hand side of each of these plates. That way, if you've put down your fork, of course, you can go ahead and just pick up the glass right there. Nice. Got that. And next, we're going into no, actually, we have to go ahead and place these glasses over here, don't we? Yes, we do. There we go. Getting a little stuck on the objects there. Just a little bit. We got you. And you. And you. Instead of, cluttering this up with other things that would be on a kitchen island, like, I don't know, cutting board, baking supplies, whatever. I'm instead going to just, use this like it would probably be used, a place for people to eat, all that kind of stuff, or one of its uses. Now in utensils, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place down the napkin because I like to be fancy about this. Now, you know that the napkin is placed properly when the frills of the napkin are on the left side of that napkin. Why? Because if this is placed properly, then all of the utensils will be facing the proper direction. If that's where you want to put them. You might want to put them in more dynamic positions. I like to put them as if they are placed ready for someone to sit down and eat, rather than in the process of eating. Because I like the uniformity that it brings, and realistically, how simple it is to remember the setup. Okay. There we go. We got the napkin there, and then we will start with our utensils. You can go with whichever set. I like the generic stainless. They are clean, but they're not brand new. We go with fork on the left-hand side. Each and every time. Ooh, I did not put napkins over there. We'll come back to those napkins. We'll come back to those. We'll go ahead and set up all the all the places at the table all together. We'll just start over here. Fork, 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 and then stainless knives. I'll leave this story for another time, but I had a little jingle to help me remind myself which side that each of these, like what the order was for placing your utensils. It's a story for another time, but it was a nice little thing my dad taught me. And we'll place the spoons here. It's probably not like, you know, completely unique. I'm sure it was a rather popular thing at one point, but it was definitely a fun memory of mine. There we go. We got the fork, the knife, and the spoon. Okay, and that's basically what one place setting looks like. We'll go ahead and do that over here. Now we'll go back again. We'll grab ourselves the napkin. How much time do we have? We have about 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Yeah. And we'll place you there. You're a little bit off, but okay, you're fine. This is a much more narrow location once you've got everything placed on all of its sides here. And we'll go with you. And then we go with the fork. There we go. All right, we grab the forks. Place the fork on top of the napkin. And then we go to our knives. Again, we use the stainless. Now, when I really get focused and really get down to it, we can clearly do a lot of detailing in a very short amount of time. But it is still a lot. It's still quite a bit. We get the knife, and we get another knife here. Still a lot of work. And then we go with the spoons. Oh, no. We don't want you stacked on top of the other just because I'm very picky about these kinds of things. And we got the spoons. Okay, wonderful. Now all the place settings are set up. Great. Great. Now there is a couple more things. Obviously, the first thing we got to do, we got to put some objects here. We got to put some stuff, some more stuff here in this living space. I am going to first go ahead and place in OC Decorator. We're going to the office and lounge section. I'm going to place some smokes and ashtrays. It's the future of the 50s. If everyone smoked in the 50s, the future image of the 50s is people keep smoking. It's like part of their utopian ideal. So we got the ashtray. We're going to have a nice unused lighter, only because it's the coolest texture. I don't necessarily care much for the gold-plated texture. Go ahead and put a pack of cigarettes over here. Pack of cigarettes, angled in a certain way. Yeah, angle them like that. And then sometimes I'll place these nice little lit cigars or lit cigarettes if I feel like it. But nah, I'm not. I'm gonna say these guys are pretty tidy and they wouldn't really leave something like that just sort of sitting there. But I like it. They're nice. They add a little bit of an object glow. You see that? Nice little object glow on mirrored or at least polished surfaces. Really cool stuff. But next we're gonna go ahead and go back into the household items in decor and general, all the way down to the end. We want a vase with some flowers in it. You know, right next to your cigarettes. The healthiest place for a plant to be. Healthiest place for a plant to be. I think I like that vase. Yes. Now the flowers get kind of generic. Really, they get kind of generic over time, but I do really like this. Or was it this one? Yeah, I do really like that vase. We're gonna use you. I'm gonna place you down as close to center as I can. There we go. Nice. Nice. A little bit of storytelling, you know, a little bit of environmental storytelling, something that Fallout is supposed to be very good at. Now, we're going to place on top of this stereo, we're going to go ahead and place a couple of generic holotapes, you know. They got some music going here other than whatever's on the radio. They got some of their own stuff. Ooh, we can't actually place anything on top of here. Okay, that's good information, because that means we can create a new space. Mod pause Y 10, 20, 30. Zero you out. Now over here we can put a little table. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Adapting. We have to adapt. We're going to go home and we're going to go with... Ooh. I do like this. I think I'm probably going to put this guy down. Yeah, I want to make sure you're in the right-ish spot. Generally speaking. Mod angle Z.1. Yeah. Mod pause X minus 10. 20, 30. 1, 2, 3. And 0. All right, nice. Now this, we can put stuff on top of here. We're going to put 2 types of items on top. Maybe 3 types of items. Your girlfriend called you Dodd? What does that mean? What do you mean your girlfriend called you Dodd? All right, we're going to place 3 kinds of items. Obviously, first, we're going to put some generic holotapes, because the stereo in the Fallout game, you can play holotapes inside of the stereo that you find in the player's house in Sanctuary. Oh. All right then. Dog. Okay. Is that something you wanted? If so, I'm happy for you. If not, then oof. I don't know. All right, yeah, I like that. That's a nice little pattern right there. And we'll say, just, you know, the fact that these are up here, we can say, oh, there's probably more, you know, in one of these cupboards or whatever, something like that. Next thing we're going to place, we're going to go back to office and lounge. We're going to go to books and news. I love the overdue book texture because it is not a burnt book. That's kind of the big thing for me. As long as it's not the burnt book. We're going to place them like this, so that the spine is facing outwards and you can read what is on the spine. I imagine these are a bunch of different books. Obviously, they look all the same, but it's a nice little texture. Ooh, you're floating. I don't want that. I would prefer that you were not a floating object, please. There we go. That's better. Now it's not a floating object. Okay, and then we are also... Actually, what we're going to do... Oh, come on. Oh, really? Fine. Okay. We're going to move this out front, actually. Like this. Well, I guess that's not a thing you're into. Sorry, man. Sorry. Hope that all works out for you. Okay, now we're going to place those books there, and instead we're going to go back into smokes and ashtrays. We're going to put a carton of gray tortoise in the back over here. Yeah, to match up with the pack right there. Okay, the weather and time are changing, and I would prefer it to be nice and clear and daytime. Force weather. 000 to B52A. And set to game hour to 10. Nice. Clear sunny skies, and it's 10 in the morning. It's better than 12 because you get shadows, but it's also nice and clear. And occasionally, 12 doesn't look too different than 10, really. It's happened plenty of times. The sky is changing, so we're going to use the force weather command again, and that should clear it all up. The clear sky really is best for building. I I don't really use the clear. In fact, I don't at all. I don't like to clear. I don't like to change the weather unless I need to explicitly for building. Otherwise, you know, Fallout's got a really cool weather cycle. I don't really want to change too much about that. It looks like we forgot to place a corner piece over here. So we're going to go back into Snappy Builds, into Shell Kit, into Shared Wall Parts, Theme 1, and we're going to find that corner. There we go. There it is. Ah, that's why. That's why you don't want to do anything. Okay, that's easy enough. It's this cable. It's this wire. Okay. Well, here's the solution to that. Click on you, Mod Pause Z300, and then bring you in. Snap you in place, bring you back down, and stop. Click on you, down, and stop. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now those corners are in place. Oh well, it happens. You'll forget something, you'll go back and be like, oh, obviously I needed to work on that. Duh. Of course. Okay, so when you have the doors swinging in, the doors I like to use, I tend to use the clean, the standard brown wooden door, which I won't place right now, but I'll show you what I'm looking for. We go into doors, all the way down to wood. For almost every building, I like to use essentially this. I like the the auto close one, which is from another one of the settlement mods I use. I don't know which settlement mod, but the auto close one only has hinges on one side. There's not two options. There's just this one. So you want the hinges, or well, I do. If you want the hinges facing on the inside of the house or the room or whatever, if you place it down, then the door will swing inwards and to the left, which means it will swing this direction. So I shouldn't place anything in this direction that would be, you know, that would be too important. I'm going to place something over here, though. Back in OC Decorator, we're going to go to Household and Personal Effects, Decor and General Items. And to the left of the vases, I'm looking for, yes, the umbrella stand. Wonderful. We're going to use a regular dirty umbrella stand. We're going to place you... there seems to work fine. And then we're going to place a clean umbrella in there because the clean umbrellas are the only ones that actually function properly. They're the only ones that I have found that like to be placed downwards into the actual stand. Yeah, look at that. It's in the stand itself. Hard to do at first, but I have seemed to figure it out. Okay, that is most of the decoration done for the first floor. That's pretty good stuff, and we've still got just about 30 minutes left. I know it should say about 2.5 hours through, but I'm going to give myself about 10 minutes of wiggle room because I did take a longer break than I expected to. All right, do I want to place anything else down in this main section? Probably not. Give me a second to think about this. I'm sorry, it's very late. It's actually very early in the morning. It's 18 minutes in the morning here on Tuesday the 18th. When I'm filming this, when this first VOD is going up and when this first part of the overall tutorial is being put together, oof, it's probably going to take me a while to make the supercut of the tutorial to really pare it down just to the base information, but I'll still upload both of the VODs if you want to get all of the little details that I went for, which is very kind if that's the thing you're into. I see now I did not go ahead and zero in this object, so there we go. Now the couch is zeroed in. Wonderful. Do I need to place any more detail down here? Anything super important? Anything that would really, really fill the space out well? I think we're fine. Yeah, I know how I'm going to break up the upstairs. And we'll work on the upstairs mostly tomorrow. I'm going to place a bedroom, bathroom space, and a bedroom. And then, put some other utility stuff up here, like the washer and dryer or, all kinds of stuff. That will all go somewhere up on the second floor. just so that it's not a massive nuisance down here. Do I want to put anything in this space? Do I need to put anything in this space? Would it make sense? Maybe. Maybe. Okay, so another one of the mods that I recently picked up. In fact, if you are watching this, I picked this mod up for the previous stream, number 36. I picked this mod up. It adds in library, a bunch of library objects, and a bunch of other stuff, but what I needed were the bookshelves. There we go. Shelves, all the way down to mods, and something in the bookcase-filled pre-war section. I think I like that the most for this section. Ooh, no, yeah, we'll go with this. We'll go with this. You know, there's lots of books in here, but it's not like they've got the most robust library of all. Yeah, we'll place you in here. That would work well. Adds a nice little bit of depth to this little space. Mod angle Z minus 0.1, 2, 3, yeah. Mod pause Y, mod pause Y 10, 20, 30, 40. And do we want to go 50? Yes, we do. 50, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh. Okay, and we want to move you to the left a little bit. Pause X minus 5. Is that good? Does that work? Yeah, that works well. That's all good. Takes in the full depth of that section and that section, even though the one thing that is a little difficult is that these corners, you can't put wallpaper on these corners. However, if you don't put those corners, you get the weird indent, and the wallpaper you can see coming off of the little sides of the walls there. So I tend to just leave it as it is. You can do whatever you want with those, but that adds a little bit of extra detail there. I like that. I like that quite a bit. Yeah. And that is from a new mod I recently added, and that mod is at the very bottom. If you're watching on the VODs, this mod here is at the very bottom of the mods list. It is called Renovated Furniture, specifically the bookcase section, but it's the Renovated Furniture mod as a whole. Let's zero you in and get you nice and placed there. Awesome. We have one more major thing to do for this first floor before the end of the stream. We need to figure out what the ceiling is going to look like, and consequently, how the second floor is all going to work together. How all that stuff is gonna be filled out, but most importantly, we need to worry about the ceiling of the first floor so that we can place so that we can go ahead and place the lights properly. That's kind of the big deal here. Kind of the main concern. The first thing, the easiest thing for us to figure out, is going to be this little bathroom section. And I like to match my floor and ceilings together. So we're going to go back into Snappy Builds, Shell Kit, and Floors. We're going to go to the Clean Wood Floor section, and we used these earlier. We're going to continue to use these for this little section here. I'm going to place one of you, and then, of course, we're going to place the little tiny cube. Yay, little cube doing its job. I want you, except I want you on that angle. There we go. Yeah. Nice flowing pattern. Okay, great. That's all in. And then on this side, we're going to place one of you way down at the end, which means I'm probably first going to need to place one of you down. Now we'll place the two of you. I'll place one of you. Awesome. And that is enough room for us to move up and down. That's just enough room for us to do that. Great. Great. Yeah, we'll remove those just for now, depending on how I'm going to set up the floors for the second floor. Because I do need to think, what's the floor division going to look like up there? But first, we're going to take care of what's in here. With the wooden floors, what's important is you do not necessarily, for a building like I'm making, because I like to use generally cleaner textures. I like that the floor doesn't have anything hanging off of it and it's not like chipping away or anything. But if you want to do that, if you want a little bit more of a rundown or, you know, in the process of renovation sort of look, you can go for these, which do have some chipping. And then for the roof sections, there's roof sections that actually have like some of the ceiling pieces like hanging down a little bit. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's not the look I'm currently going for. It's not and you can't really see it too well right now because it's the middle of the day and there's not a light below it, but believe me, when you place them and you play around with them, you'll see what I mean. I tend to go for these full thickness pieces here because they've got just a solid ceiling color. Okay, so we've placed these guys first. That's all well and good. Now we're going to go down here. We're going to place a light. Basically, I want to try and keep it in line with this line here. Why? I like to have a lot of my lights as centered for the space that I'm working with as possible. Is it necessary? Of course not. It's just my little pet peeve. But it's my pet peeve. I tend to enjoy doing this because, you know, it's my thing. It's my thing. Okay, so of course we're not in Snappy Build. We're going to go over to Power, to Lights, to Ceiling Lights, and place this guy down right about there. Okay, that's very close to center. In fact, that might be as close to center as I can get it right now. Great, but we don't end there. I don't like the look of the exposed bulb. Not my favorite. So what I do, and this is another great thing about commands, I like to place in the bathrooms, I like to place this ceiling light over top of it. So first what we do is we line it up exactly as close to center as possible. Then we immediately go into the console. We click on the bulb, disable, and then without moving our mouse, we exit the console. We place the object and then enter, enable, without clicking on anything else, so that we still have the most recently selected item as our selection. We enable it, and you see it comes back into place. Wonderful! Now there's extra light, and there's 2 lights here. Is this bathroom large enough to necessarily need it? No, but it's a pattern. And now in the console, we modify the position, mod pause, on the Z-axis, so we change its height to 27 is what you want for that kind of connection. And then you want to, once again, modify it by 0 in order to get it to not continue to shake around, because if it does, there's a chance it could cause some lag. Granted, what's causing me lag is everything else I've built right now. I've built a lot. Built a lot of stuff. This is not going to be the #1 cause of lag for me. But perhaps for you, if this is a concern for you, you can go ahead and figure that out. But there we go. We got this bathroom section handled. You got some light in there. It's looking good. Looking like a proper half bath now. Very happy about that. Okay, this kitchen space is kind of our next major concern. But I also need to plan ahead for how do I want the second floor to be laid out. I think I've got the general idea I'm looking for now that I've had a little bit of time to think about it as we've been building. That's a lot of this is thinking about multiple things at the same time because it all has to fit together. Whether you're going for a clean look, a refurbished look, a rebuilding look, or a ramshackle look, it all kind of has to fit together. So we're going to go with 3 full block pieces on the far wall with the windows. And then we're going to come in and use the half wide pieces that have the wood grain traveling the length of the block. because there's a separate one, and I say that because there's the next one over is having the wood grain travel the width of the block, but that's not what we want. We want the length of the block. Now, why would I do that when I've already done these over here? We'll talk about that in just a second. In fact, I don't need to place those right now, so we're not going to worry about those right now. We just need this kitchen space. I'm going to do one more right about there. Now, in truth, we're going to have just a light here about halfway through the kitchen space. I like to do my best to center all of the lighting that I use. We're going to go over here to power, lights, ceiling, and we're going to go with the same process we did last time. Boom. Okay, you're placed. We're going to click on you before we prepare for this next side. Now, there we go. Disable. So, place it. Enable. Mod pause 0. Or rather, mod pause Z27 and then Z0. And that is about center. That's as close to center and as is necessary for this kitchen space. Plenty of light. Plenty of light. Now, I do have a mod. I don't remember what it's called, but basically what the mod does, it is in the description of the VOD. What the mod provides is it provides, it increases the amount of light that each settlement, that each light in your settlement build menu gives off. I like to combine these two because most of the spaces I build, wider spaces. And the way I have my graphics set, I don't want to go with, ooh, I'm going to max out my brightness for things because I can't see anything. No, I like to keep it a little cinematic, you know, a little more authentic. It's just that the settlement lights need something better than 2 lumens, you know? Something a little better than 2 lumens would be nice. So I increased that brightness, and then I combined the lights using console commands. It's a nice little building trick. All the wires, all the hidden things are still all hidden. So like it seems like it fits together, but it provides enough light for the space. That's the important bit. Now we've got that light section placed, and I can also start to begin to talk about our plans for the second floor here. Part of our plans for the second floor is I'm going to have the bedrooms and the bathroom 1.5 blocks deep, or wide, or whatever, or long, however you want to put it. I'm going to have 1.5 blocks for each of these bedrooms so that there's some movement space around the beds. And then this, then this half block is going to travel the length here so that there's still some walking room to get from the bedrooms and the bathroom and everything. And then this, obviously, this is where the stairs come in. I can't have this walk all the way across. This is the stair section. So that's the plan for that space. But right now, we are interested in building out this space over here. So back to Snappy Kit, Shell Kit, or Snappy Builds, Shell Kit, Clean Floors. We're going to copy what we did with the kitchen space into these 2 sections over here. And what we're going to do with this one is we are going to find the center of this 2x2 section. The center, which is right about here, right? Yes, right about there. Okay, wonderful. That is probably as close to center as I'm going to get, isn't it? Yeah, right about there. Okay, nice. Now we're going to go over to power, lights, ceiling. And we're going to drag you, as close to center as I can get you. Nice. And now, instead of that generic ceiling, we're going to go with the undamaged ceiling fan. I love this. I love this guy. So we angle you so that when we look directly at where the bulb needs to go, because I try to center the bulb right in position. Nice. Okay, without moving once you've found the position, hold your mouse there or the joystick or whatever it happens to be. Hold it there. Click whatever the console window happens to be. Now you can move your mouse around. You're going to click on the bulb. And then Mod Pause Z 20 units and 0 units. And then do not touch the mouse or whatever the joystick happens to be. Exit out of there and click it down. This one you don't have to disable to work. All that's important is that the bulb and the wire are not in the way of the blades, even if it's centered on the object, because the blades are technically a separate object from the base, and they'll separate and they'll make a noise, and it's weird when they do it, and then you'll have to move the bulb before they get back into place. It's just simpler to do it this way. But that gives us plenty of light for this space. Look at that. A nice bright space, even with everything closed up, even in the middle of the day. It's great. Very, very, very nice. So, now that we've got the ceiling on, we've got a couple more objects we need to place down here. I like to place clocks in all of these. And the clocks are from a different mod. Now, this mod is called the SOE pack. The SOE pack is in the mod list, but it's not something we use too often. We use the SOE pack basically only for this one settlement object. SOE standing for Settlement Objects Extended, which you can find on both Nexus and I believe on the Bethesda mod page for any of our console users or PC modders who are not comfortable using who are not comfortable yet using third-party mods. Okay, so we go to the clock, and we get this nice, clean-looking clock here. Now, there's several places we could put it. I am going to go for placing it right above the TV over here. I'm going to center this one. And what's nice about the SOE pack clock is when you place it, it switches to what the in-game time is. It's really cool. It's really nice. You can see the accurate in-game time, and all of the clocks are synced. They all show the in-game time properly. Now, I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, okay, the TV's not exactly centered. I'd probably like the TV to be a bit more centered. So Mod Pause Y10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's about right. And then 0. Now, we're going to move this guy over by 10, maybe 12 as well. There we go. Okay, great. Someone can still sit here and have plenty of room to get in and out. Someone can sit here. Maybe 3 people can sit here. I don't remember how many people sit on the couches, really. Lots and lots of seating. Just lounge space, guys. Lots of lounge space. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, we have hit 3 hours of time that we've been streaming, but I'm going to say we'll give ourselves a bit like 10-ish more minutes because, you know, I took a short break for those of you watching live, and I don't know exactly how long that break was. I'm going to say approximately 10 minutes. Probably not the full 10, but approximately 10-ish minutes. Whatever. And a couple more objects we're going to place down here. I want to place a couple of paintings. I like placing the paintings. It's just not often that I find a good time to place them. So we're going to go decorations, wall decorations, paintings. We're going to go with traditional. Yes, traditional, and frame 1 tends to fit most of my needs, really. You can choose whatever frame fits best for where you want to place paintings. But I want to place a painting here. I think we'll go with one that accurately represents Jamaica Plains. There we go. Get it? Because farmlands are plains generally? Ooh, look at that. Okay, nice, and it fills a little bit of a void in that space there. And I think I might place one up here, but which one am I going to place? Maybe I choose a different frame. Yeah, let's go with frame 8. Ooh, is that going to be too big? Ooh, that's a big picture. That's a wide picture. Frame 9? Okay, yeah, frame 9's much nicer. Much nicer, frame 9. Alright, we want it... Ooh, essentially right about there is where we want to place something. But what do we want to place? Ooh, I like that. Yeah, we'll place you right there. Cool. Okay. Nice. We got some paintings in the space. We're not gonna put anything here. Now this is kind of an interesting border space right there. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. I think it looks pretty good. This is all part of the larger tutorial that I'm trying to produce for all of you. I hope you guys are enjoying this. And it's a lot of work on my end. It's a lot of work, but I do my best to make it as simple to explain as possible, because I've gotten plenty of comments from a lot of people, both live and on the VODs. Thank you for all of you liking and commenting and watching the VODs. It means a ton to me. It takes a lot to produce these, really. A lot of time for me to produce these, because I can't walk away from my PC while it renders in case there's a rendering error, because I don't want to have to stay up for another 3 hours after it renders rendering. But this has been a lot of fun. This has been a ton of fun so far. I think we're probably going to grab our screenshots while we can. So I am going to go ahead and switch into, we're going to go 2 commands, TFC for toggle free cam, and then TM to toggle menus, and it just turns off all the menus temporarily. There we go. Now we can figure out where we want our camera to be. I think yeah, right about here looks good. I'm going to take my screenshot, however you take your screenshots, and TM TFC. There we go. Back into player and back into all of our menus. Now we can see what we have. All right, now that this is handled, I generally like to place doors as I move on, if I can. And the only door, and I won't place the exterior door until I'm completely done with the building. The only interior door we have to place right now is the bathroom door. Now, do I want to place it where it rotates to the left inwards or out to the right? I think out to the right is probably going to be the safest bet, but I'm going to have to move this chair a little bit. So let's move the chair. Mod pause Y -5. That should be probably fine. Now we'll go 5 more for a total of -10. And then we'll go ahead and place that door. Now, we're going to place it so that the hinges, yes. Yes. If you want the door to swing inwards, the doorknob will be on your right. If you want it to swing outwards, the doorknob will be on your left. If you're using this door. Other doors have different setups. The best idea is to check which side of the hinge is the flat side. The flat side is always the direction that it's going to. The flat side is always going to determine the direction that the hinge moves. If the flat side is facing you, if the flat side of the hinge is facing you, it's going to open towards you. Whatever that looks like. Just a nice little visual cue. There's a lot of detail that went into building this game, even if it's not the best Fallout game. Okay. Set game hour to 10 and force weather. Oh, come on. 000 to B52A. There we go. Bright sunny days, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of different weather commands for different weather styles you're looking for. If you want a different aesthetic, a different type of screenshot, whatever. The only one I know by heart, because it's the one I like to build with and it's the one I use specifically for building on stream, is the clear weather one. It's nice. Apologies, my throat is getting a bit dry. And as much as I don't like drinking soda at midnight, I kind of have to stay up in order to get this thing rendered and everything. But yeah, that's the only internal door we need right now. It'll swing towards this kitchen chair. It shouldn't being the operative term. It shouldn't go ahead and actually clip into the chair, but we'll figure that out in just a little bit here. I'm trying to think. Anything else I need to place down? Do I need to place down anything on top of the countertop? I don't think so. I think we're good with the countertop. It's pretty solid, the counter. I like where we've got the countertop. I like where we added this little extra bit of detail. Even if it kind of fails over here, oh well, that happens. I do like the extra detail we placed. I do like that it helps to create sort of a galley kitchen look. I do like that a lot. Plenty of workspace over here, plenty of movement space. Everything is about the proper distance from each other as well. These are all important things to think about if you're designing a kitchen in real life. These are important things to think about. You want a kitchen that where everything is within arm's reach of each other, within reason, of course, depending on exactly the space that you have. But you do want everything to be, less than 10 steps away from each other, if you can help it. That way you can get things very quickly. You can, you're not going to risk burning anything or anything, or any ingredients getting messed up, whatever it happens to be. Oh man, I'm very, very happy I caught that cough as it was going. Really fortunate that the cough didn't actually catch the first couple times. So tomorrow we're gonna work entirely on the second floor and probably the roof section, because it's gonna be a two-story building. For whoever runs the diner, this is their house. Next time we're going to build the two bedrooms on either side, the bathroom in the center, and then probably use this little space over here to place the, now that I'm thinking about it, use this little space over here, place the washer and the dryer, maybe. I don't know. Place them on top of each other. Not that difficult to do. Okay, but is there anything else I'm comfortable doing here on this stream before we set up before the end of the day? We've got like 3-ish minutes left. We'll go into shell kit, because we will need some sort of railing here. We're going to go shell kit. Yeah, snappy build, shell kit, and we're going to go all the way over to balconies. The balcony section. And there's all kinds of balconies depending on what you want to do for your exterior. As you'll see over there at the town hall, I've got a couple of balconies on the 3rd floor, which are accessible from the mayoral apartment, as well as a couple of doors to the exterior roof section. One of those is accessible to the mayoral apartment. The other one is accessible to anyone who works in the town hall. However, we're not interested in these large balcony pieces, as cool as they are, and we will likely use them for other builds. I've used several balcony pieces. What we want is just the balcony railing, It's called shell railing here. This is what we're looking for. We will start with this one here, which has the two posts. We're going to place this guy on that set right there. Got a post there, a post here. We're going to have... Then we're going to work with whichever one has the post. Yes, there we go. The post needs to be the corner side, because when these snap onto the walls, they snap so that they're flush. There we go. And then in between, we're just going to work with one of these flats. Nice. Wonderful. All works together. All works together. Okay. Great. Now that we have that, we're going to do one more thing, because I don't like necessarily how exposed all of that looks. We're going to do one more thing. We're going to go to shell kit ledges. We're going to get a nice full-length ledge. We'll go... Oh, come on. Find the right place. Where is it? Where's the right place? If we can't get this one to find the right place, that is okay, because we can always use the half length. Yes, we'll put one there. Oh, come on. There we go. We'll place one here. Facing the right direction now. Not that hard. And we will place one. Ah, there we go. Glorious. Now that we've got all three of those, they cover up the little... They cover up the gap in the floor. I mean, there's not a gap, but they cover up the depth of the floor. The depth of the floor rather well. Yeah, and it makes it look like a more natural transition as well. That's one of the important parts to me. Now we won't worry about this wall because we will just continue the wallpaper up to the second floor for this space. We might do different wallpapers in the bedrooms, you know, 2 different bedrooms, 2 different wallpapers. I don't know. We'll figure it out tomorrow when we do a little bit more of the creative process for all of this. But of course, the bathroom, we know what the bathroom's generally going to look like. We know what the wallpaper is. We know what the carpets or the tile is probably going to be. You know, simple stuff. Simple stuff. All right. But I think that's all of the time we have for today. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad I'm finally doing this tutorial process. Very, very happy. If you want to watch the second part of the tutorial, make sure to either tune in live to the next stream, which will be, I guess later today. Now that I'm looking at the clock, this will be Tuesday evening. I don't know exactly when because technically the 18th is still part of our week of I don't know when I'm going to be able to stream, but I will stream at some point. The goal is 4:30 for today, but if I can't go to 4:30 p.m. Central, then I will find some other time in the day to go ahead and stream. And if you're interested in watching the VOD will be up as close to the time that we finish the stream as possible. For instance, this VOD will probably be live sometime between 2 and 3 in the morning. But yes, if you're watching in the VOD's channel, you know, if you want to watch the second part of this VOD and it's not available yet, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe in order to find out when that's going to be. Turn on notifications to find out when the second part is uploaded. You can also go ahead and check the description, and you can find this Kick channel, which is Christian Nisus on Kick. I would suggest not trying to figure out how to spell Nisus if you're not familiar with it. Just find the link in the description. You'll also find links to my other YouTube channels, which I post other kinds of content on. Occasionally, I'll eventually get back to posting on them. I've got a couple projects in the works. You can also find links to my social media pages, my Twitter. If you guys use this tutorial set and create some really awesome stuff, I'd love to see it. If you make a video, just tag my VOD's channel in the video, in the title or description of the video, either one. And if you want to send me cool screenshots, go ahead and just @ me on Twitter, which is again linked in the description, along with my other social medias. If you want to see some of my other work, like some of my photography or whatever. I also have a couple of ways you can support me monetarily if you feel like doing so. I'm not going to sit here and beg you to do so, but you understand how money works. If I can get paid to do this kind of stuff, I can do this kind of stuff more regularly. I'm very gracious for any amount of time or money that you can give me, and if you can't give me both, it's enough that you gave me one or the other. Thank you all so much for watching. Genuinely, it means the world to me, but we are going to finish. We are going to actually exit out of the game for today. Obviously, the most important thing is to make sure you can actually save the game, so I think that's about it. But yeah, that's good. My throat is very raw and dry right now. I'm gonna need to make sure I'm drinking a lot of water tomorrow before the stream, so that we're all good for the stream itself. But genuinely, thank you, and to those watching on the VODs, thank you so much. We have hit 100 subscribers on the VODs channel, which is awesome for such a small YouTube channel. I've been doing this for about 6.5 months. 6.5 months, and to have 100 subscribers on a small YouTube channel that I've been uploading content to for 6.5 months, that's really cool. 100 subscribers is a great number for me to be able to gauge, okay, what percentage of my viewership, what percentage of my subscribers are generally watching my videos, and if it's a number larger than 100, I can say, hey, look, not only did my subscribers watch this was very clearly pushed to people who aren't subscribed to me. I'm sure I know for a fact that's not exactly how the algorithm works. Obviously, not everyone who watches your content is someone who's subscribed to you, but it's a nice sort of gauging number for me to work off of. Really cool stuff. And I'm just really excited. I'm very excited that I've got 100 subscribers now on this VODs channel. I never thought that was something that I would reach. I didn't even know I was going to get any subscribers on this VODs channel. I just thought probably a good idea to put this stuff up as an archive somewhere. You know, maybe someone's interested in it. But it's really cool. 100 people are interested in it. That's crazy. It'd be wild if all 100 of you were watching all of them, but I do not fault you for not sitting here for, what, this is episode 37? Oof. Okay. I mean, episode 37 at approximately 3 hours per episode would be, well, that's 36 times 3. 36, 72, 108. 111 hours of content on it if we're just taking the 3 hour average. I do not fault you for not watching 111 hours of my build content if that's not your thing. But thank you to everyone who has been watching. This does mean a lot to me. And I'm probably rambling now because it's almost 1 in the morning and I'm exhausted. But I'm going to stay up and make sure this thing gets edited and that the upload process begins before I go to bed. Because it means a lot to me that you guys watch, and I will put as much effort into making this stuff as you guys do into watching it. So, one more time, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow at some bat time, with the goal of being 4:30 Central, 4:30 p.m. Central. Some bat time in the day, but definitely the same bat channels. And I do say channels plural because technically the live and the... Anyway, point is, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, whenever you're watching this. Yeah, guess that's everything. Have a good one.